shuts the door.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlake Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. Milwaukee Brewers back in action tonight. First road trip of the 2026 season. Brewers visiting the Kansas City Royals at Kauffman Stadium. First pitch set for 6:45 tonight. Chad Patrick on the mound for Milwaukee. Pre-game coverage starts just after 6 o'clock on 100.5 ESPN in Madison and the Brewers Network flagship 620 WTMJ in Milwaukee. Tonight's game, video streaming exclusively on Apple TV Plus. First one of the year where it's not on local Brewers TV, only on Apple TV Plus. Brewers Royals, 6:45. First pitch tonight. The Bucks back in action at home at Fiserv Forum, playing host to the Boston Celtics. Tip time at 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 in Madison. You can listen to that game on 1670 The Zone. And, of course, plenty to talk about with the Green Bay Packers. Fallout from the NFL meetings earlier this week. Check out the latest from ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Domofsky over at ESPN.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin.
It is the Friday edition. Can you say Happy Good Friday? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. But
I mean, you know, our Lord and Savior did die for our sins. On the one hand, the other hand, he was crucified. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to describe that day edition. The Matt LaFleur, I was thinking about this when I first saw it, and now I'm finishing up my story for Channel 3000. This whole year one thing, I knew it sounded familiar because I'd heard it before from a guy who ended up getting fired at the end of the season in which he'd said it edition. And the Wisconsin is a hockey school? That's the hypothesis of one Mark Gerald Tauscher edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaverdine, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the amazing, stupendous, magnificent, fantastic, and all free and all customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson, who I had someone text me to say that they faked the moon landing statement was so idiotic that they turned off the show.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Thanks, Jesse.
And
I wasn't even asserting that it was fake.
Well, I went back and listened, and it did sound that way. You later amended your statement later in the program, actually at the end of the program, and I think it was a little too late, at least for this one person who may have called you an imbecile. You're in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios watching the real flight of Artemis 2 around the moon but not landing upon
Can we,
it.
see that? Can you see the rocket go around the moon from
I don't
Earth?
know. Good question. I for all NASA coverage, I go to you. And from his undisclosed location, he's the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I think you mischaracterized my statement. I didn't hypothesize. I was literally asking a question yesterday after we had old boy on, the old captain.
Ben Dexheimer, who is great, by the way.
A lot of good reviews.
We win, man. What's that?
Got a lot of positive reviews on Ben Dexheimer's appearance yesterday.
And we got a good review from Ben Dexheimer.
Yeah,
He said those guys are fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. We are fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we could call him a cake eater. He still likes us. That's not bad. No, what I was thinking last night when we were kind of bouncing ideas off as this is, let's be honest, this is a slower time of the year. There's not a ton of football, even though there is, March Madness this weekend. I'm not that interested. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I will. If I had to pick, and I don't know if Jesse's doing a weekend preview. You are not, probably, right, Jell?
Was not planning on it. No.
Okay. The most intriguing game this weekend is South Carolina playing UConn in women's tonight.
Mm-hmm. 6
That,
o'clock
I believe,
tonight.
is the biggest.
Yeah.
If you looked around at those brackets on the women's side, people are in the 99. People are 99% right. You know how they do the $1 billion challenge? You get every pick right in the men's side. You can win $1 billion. I don't think they do that on the women's side because I think people get it right. I think you can get if you picked. I think it's all 1 seeds, and outside of Iowa getting beat. I think earlier.
Yeah, Virginia beat Iowa. Besides that, it's been
pretty much it's chalk city. I think I'm at 80 in our GKB pool. I think I'm 80-some%. I'm in 60th place in the women's bracket. So that to me is the most intriguing. Obviously, Arizona, Michigan is going to be a big boy tilt, and then the fact that we beat Illinois twice, I'll be intrigued. But let's be honest, that's just
Annoyed.
not where. That's not what. So what I was thinking and what I wanted to talk about yesterday after Dexy was on was that is one of those great moments because sports is about big moments. That's what you remember. You remember championships and the big moments that got you there. And Homer always will say, it's a shame that happened, that we ended up losing because that big moment gets lost in history, and he's 100% right.
He is right. Mm-hmm.
So we have not had in this millennium, 26 years now. What big moments have we had? And most of them have been Wisconsin hockey, and then the Milwaukee Bucks won. That's kind of where we're at when it comes to this. Outside of the 2010 championship for the Packers, what have they been? What have been those big moments?
So the Homer rule, it's lost to history if you don't win the game, or it's lost to history if you don't win the title?
I think it's obviously lost even bigger if you lose that game. And then if it spurs you on to win a championship. That's why, for example, the 4th and 26 game. Oh, Freddie Mitchell catches the ball over the middle. Yeah, great, you beat us. So happy they got beat the next week. Because had they won the championship, Oh, God. I mean, for as much pain as it still inflicts on, I think, everybody that was on that team, it would be even worse had they won. So I think that you can look at moments, and there have been great moments that Packer players have made. B.J. Raji makes that interception against the Bears. If Caleb Haney leads them back down and we lose, are we talking about that play? Yeah, but it's an afterthought. It's not the fridge, the whatever they call that. That play is not in infamy. And then obviously the it is time. If Pittsburgh goes down and wins in the 2-minute drive, is that in the lore of what we got, or Nick Collins' interception? The answer is no. They're great plays, but it does have to lead to something. Otherwise, it's not as great, if that makes sense.
It does. So we're using 2010 as the baseline, which was the last time Wisconsin was in the Frozen Four. The Badger men lost the national championship game. Before that, they won the 2006 title. And then their previous Frozen Four appearance, I was at as a student reporter in 1992. So it had been a while over the last 30-plus years that they'd been in Frozen Four.
Yeah, let's
so
not
this
twist
is
it. If we're a hockey school, it's because the women are leading the charge. Let's not twist it.
So the moment that comes to mind for me that I need you to rule on then is in Dallas, NFC divisional round game, which you like to say is the best weekend of sports, right? Of football.
Yep. For me.
Rodgers to Jared Cook to set up Mason Crosby booting not once but twice the game-winning field goal to send a run-the-table Packers team that was left for dead, much like this Badger men's hockey team at midseason, to the NFC Championship game. Now, we know what happens the following week. The Packers are fogged in at the airport in Green Bay. They get to Atlanta late, and then they apparently show up at the Georgia Dome late as well. I made it on time, but their performance, they got down 27-0 in that game, and Gooch ended up playing guard, and Ladarius Gunter ended up getting cooked by Julio Jones repeatedly. Does that moment, the throw that he draws it up in the dirt and in the turf, and makes the throw to Jared Cook to set up the game-winning field goal, does that get lost to history because they didn't win the following week? Because that's one of the most memorable plays I can recall.
We will always remember the play, but it is a blip. It's not. If I'm going to ask you, and we maybe just stumbled into this, if I'm going to ask you the 5 most memorable plays in the history of the Green Bay Packers organization, it ain't going to make it because it didn't lead to a championship. Was it a great play, and was it unbelievable at the time, and was it an awesome watch? How much did we even talk about that after? So that happened, and then you just went through the Atlanta. We spent that entire offseason talking about what success looks like and how you get home playoff games. We didn't talk about how great of a play to Jared Cook. Matter of fact, wasn't that Jared Cook's last game in Green Bay?
Possibly.
The whole contract thing, and then Martellus Bennett comes to town. And so, yeah, life happens fast in the NFL, and if you don't close up shop with it, that doesn't take away the greatness of that play. It takes away the impact that play had on the history of your team.
All right, next one, because these are all moments that are very vivid for me, okay? Regular season finale in Chicago. Aaron Rodgers has missed 8 games with a broken collarbone. The last game of the 2013 regular season, Rodgers comes back from the broken collarbone. The Packers are trailing at Soldier Field. They convert 3 fourth-down plays, including Rodgers making a ridiculous throw to a stunningly wide-open Randall Cobb, who is blown by the Bears defense, for the game-winning touchdown.
They brought an all-out zero blitz. They weren't expecting Rodgers to – they thought he had to get rid of the ball quicker. That's why that happened. Continue.
Correct. They were all standing at the line to gain for the first down, and Cobb went past him. And John Kuhn picks up Julius Peppers, and he's able to make the throw. Yep. But that is one of the most memorable plays that I can recall ever seeing. The following week, they lose at home to the San Francisco 49ers. in the first round of the playoffs. That play lost to history because they didn't do anything with it thereafter.
It's not lost to history. It's just not as impactful. And if you're talking about great plays in the Packers-Bears rivalry, it's right there from Green Bay standpoint. It's going to be one of. It's not probably the top because, the NFC Championship game with BJ making that play and then, Sam Shields closing up shop, those are also in play. The tackle of Urlacher. Like, that tackle that he made on Urlacher is a direct result to getting to the Super Bowl. So that's the difference. So, yes, it's a hell of a play, but if you're, again, right now, if you're taking the top 5 plays in the history of the Green Bay Packers organization, obviously the Ice Bowl and the sneak is number 1. I don't think anything will ever beat that.
Absolutely.
Desmond Howard's kick return, is that in there?
Sure.
Were there plays that led in that 96? Max McGee hung over catching a touchdown pass. Is that in there? I don't know how we would all judge that, but I do know this. Everybody wants a championship, including the players, and those plays that lead to that or continue on and then you build off of it, that then becomes those monster plays. And what I'm saying is we've seen it. Now, with Dexy, if the Badgers go out and lose to North Dakota next week on Thursday, hey, it was a great play. Got us to another Frozen Four, which is great. But it will be what it will be. It'll be a great play in the history of Wisconsin hockey, but it's not going to be one of those memorable spots. The same thing goes with Wisconsin beating Ohio State. I don't remember the gal's name, but the fourth line player that scored to win. If Ohio State goes and ties it and then they beat us, that play it was a nice play. That's the difference. And what I'm saying in my hypothesis here is the last 26 years, it's been few and far between. There's been the ratio of gut punch to glory is just completely out of whack. Like completely when it comes to Green Bay Packers, when it comes to the Milwaukee Brewers, when it comes to pretty much every Wisconsin sports team outside of maybe, and even with the Bucks winning a championship, you'd argue there's probably, I don't know if I'd say there's more gut punches, but I guess you would when you start factoring in injuries. But that is how sports works. There's going to be more scars than there's going to be glory. Otherwise, there'd be more people walking around with championship rings.
So we're starting in 2000 and going 26 years.
I think that's a good starting point.
Okay, because again, as I think about this, I think of Brewers. Like there may be, and this is probably just me being the annoying person that I am, splitting the hairs of most important versus most memorable. Like Niger Morgan sliding in with the game-winning run. Again, they don't go on to win the World Series, right?
Yeah. I think Tausch's rule sucks.
I'm sorry?
Our expectations – hold up one second, Jesse, and then you can go off on why my rule sucks. The expectations for these teams matter, though. The fact that the Brewers had the best record in baseball last year and nobody was shocked or appalled that we got swept out of there like we didn't even belong against the Dodgers tells me for the Brewers we're about moments and we're about doing the best we can, and hopefully we can just continue to chip away, and if we get in those positions we're going to be content as a fan base. That's what last year told me was we could get lucky and catch whatever in a whatever, but that's not where we're at. That's not how our fan base looks at it. The Packers, it's championship or bust. The Milwaukee Bucks in the Giannis glory days, which have long been gone, was championship or bust. Now, I think we look at everything else in a different lens. Go ahead, Jesse. Why does my rule suck?
Because you're saying that the T-Plush walk-off against the Diamondbacks to win the NLDS, or
bronze homer,
Brandon Woodruff hitting a home run off of Clayton Kershaw, facing elimination in Game 6 of the NLCS to force Game 7 the next night, which is still celebrated on Brewers Twitter multiple times a year. That highlight gets circulated. CC Sabathia's complete game against the Cubs to close out the season in 2008 because he didn't go on to win a championship. Like, that basically doesn't matter.
Jesse, you've hosted this show now you've produced this show for 8 years, right?
Oh, is that true?
Is that about right?
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah.
You've produced how many times? And I am all in on sports big moments. I love them. But let's just look at it from the perspective of from a fan. What do you remember more? Those are I remember those moments. You just went through it. You ain't gonna find a bigger CC Sabathia fan than me. I mean, I own a pair of his pants. That's how much I like CC Sabathia. So I love all of that. But in the grand scheme of things, fans, we still celebrate the greatest Brewers team for losing in the World Series. And I think Packer fans have really kind of embraced this, and there is this championship or bust mentality, and that's always, from a sports standpoint, going to be the dialogue. When you have championship aspirations and teams that are good enough to win, did I think that they could win the World Series in 2011? I did. I don't even remember what happened after I remember watching the Brewers beat the Diamondbacks because I had just been retired from the NFL. I'm sipping a Coors Light at a local chicken wing establishment with a couple of buddies after playing golf, and the place erupted. I really felt like a fan. Like that was because when you're playing, you're kind of half in, half out. You're out. That was like, oh my God, let's go. And then I don't remember what happened, but I remember we didn't win a championship that year, and I think most fans, we want all those moments, but we want it to lead to the glory. And when you don't get the glory, there's a little bit of disappointment. That's all. Yes.
So your most enjoyable experience as a fan, which you talk about many, many times, is Indianapolis for the Final Four.
Yes. I was just going to bring it up.
Beating an undefeated Kentucky team, drinking the town out of Coors Lights. The Badgers lose the national championship game after having a 9-point lead because Coach K's a weasel and he works the officials, which I've been told is the most important thing a baseball manager does is work.
If only there was head taps back then for some of those calls, man.
So you're telling me that I still hear Raph echoing in my ear, step back, Jack, with the step back three that Sam hits against Kentucky. You're telling me that is largely lost to history because they didn't win 2 nights later and beat Duke? Because, again, important versus memorable. Like, I don't remember a lot of the specifics of that national championship game, but when I see Sam at the Bob Harlan Celebration of Life, that was one of the first thought. I mean, I'm thinking about him hitting that shot.
We literally did an entire event last summer celebrating the 10-year anniversary of that entire run.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is from a player's perspective, Sam Decker's going to always think about the loss to Duke, too. Like that we didn't close up shop. Those things can be congruous. I don't know how fans feel on this. I know I've seen it, and I understand. I'm always looking at things from a Packers standpoint when it comes to our show. And I'm telling you right now, Packer fans, there's not a doubt. Again, expectations matter.
Sure.
The Wisconsin Badgers hadn't won a national championship since '41. We had just been at the Final Four the year before and got gut punched with the Kentucky kid hitting the jumper. That was, I think, in the annals of Wisconsin basketball history, the greatest win in our lifetime. And then the most painful loss the next night, 2 nights later. What trumps what?
So for you as a fan, because here's the thing, and I think this is really interesting, and I'm happy to take calls on it. I think it's a really good idea by you. My issue is you, unlike the rest of us, we've all, to varying degrees, played sports. Jesse's still angling for that one inning of playing second base for the Mallards, I'm sure. But none of us played at as high of a level as you, right? I mean, Joe Thomas did, others did, but nobody on our little circle of our show. And it would feel to me like and we're all competitors of different levels. It feels to me like for you, because you competed at the highest level possible for football, it also adjusts how you view things as a fan, and the prism that you view your fandom through is as a competitive 11-year NFL veteran. Because for me, I don't think about the fact that the Badgers lost to Duke at this point 10 years later. Certainly that night I did, and I was disappointed for all those guys because I still couldn't believe that the Badgers were playing for a national championship. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. Just like when they went in 2000, I couldn't believe they were in the Final Four. But when I think of that team, the first thought I have is of Sam Decker's shot, because it is such a clutch, high degree of difficulty
no doubt
basket that he makes. And so you have all these great memories of your time in Indianapolis for that event, and it sounds to me like as much as you love all those moments, the fact that they lost meant that you didn't enjoy it quite as much as it hurt you that they lost. No, I enjoyed that Saturday and Sunday.
I enjoyed the Saturday and Sunday in real time as much as I ever have. And I don't believe I will. Who knows what will happen in the future. But as far as the end result, all I'm looking at is from this show's perspective and our fans. I think there's all of these great memories and these great moments that our star quarterbacks have given over the 30-some-odd years that they've been, and now hopefully Jordan Love evolves into that. It's always going to come down to winning championships because that's the end result everybody's looking for. And when you fall short of that, all of the other stuff still happens, and you're happy about that, but it's not as sweet. It's just not as sweet. And you can spin it in as many different ways as you want, but that's why this is so hard and difficult as a competitor, because only one team gets to put that flag at the top of the mountain.
You're right.
Everybody else goes tumbling down, and most of the times there's a bunch of human feces that you end up taking down the mountain when you go down that hill.
And that's
you see what those Sherpas are doing up there now? Did you see that?
I have not seen that. No,
Shady business up there with them Sherpas.
There was a 60 Minutes piece on that recently I was watching.
No, they're allegedly, everybody's paying all this money. They have insurance to get medevaced out, and they're putting some stuff in the drinks and or food, and they're forcing these evacuations, and there's money that's obviously has to be spent to get this. There's some allegations of insurance fraud of all of this. It's a fascinating little story.
Well, all I know is that if you're a window company that isn't Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, you're going down the mountain and encountering human feces because you're not as good as Pella Windows and Doors are.
Well, you should stop putting off replacing your windows and doors. Now is the time, because Pella of Wisconsin, they are offering 0% financing all the way to 2030. That is 0% until 2030. In Wisconsin, your home takes a beating year-round. The right windows and doors, they can improve comfort, boost energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's look. Pella's experts will help you find the perfect fit for your home and within your budget. And 0% all the way to 2030. You can upgrade now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
844-770-3776. I have not opened the YouTube comments yet, but I will during the break. I am curious how people are viewing this. And again, I do think that Tauscher's view is influenced by the fact that he's played his sport at the highest possible level. Because all those moments that I referred to, the game in Chicago, the game in Dallas, like those stick out to me even more than Gooch playing guard at the end of the NFC Championship game. They just do. They're more memorable to me. Are they more important than the ones you mentioned in the NFC Championship game where you beat the Bears, or in the Super Bowl when you beat the Steelers? No, probably not. But they're more memorable for me. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. This is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. I love this time of year on the sports calendar. New baseball season underway, the pro basketball playoffs coming up, and speculating what Green Bay will do in the draft, even without a first-round pick. And on top of all that, the weather is generally getting nicer and the days are getting longer. That means more sunlight and more encouragement to make the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch over the last several years. When we knew we were ready to make that switch, we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we believe in doing things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can find the same trusted products you want and need at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Right now, Rewards members get a free $10 Blaine's gift card with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase, 3-pound bags of estate grass seed $9.99, plus all Kurt trailer hitches and accessories 15% off. Find value this spring so you can do your thing. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but the way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Get ready, Wisconsin. The Sugar River Fire and Smoke Barbecue Festival is bringing the heat to historical Paoli this fall. Presented by renowned pitmaster and TV personality Michelle Wallace and hosted by 7 Acre Dairy Company. Enjoy incredible barbecue from acclaimed pitmasters and local legends, plus live music, barbecue demonstrations, and more all weekend long, September 19th and 20th in Paoli, Wisconsin. Get your tickets now at fireandsmokebarbecuefestival.com.
Every act of change begins with a neighbor. When neighbors connect through the Feeding America network, small actions ripple into lasting impact. Feeding America, led by neighbors. Take action to end hunger now at feedingamerica.org.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
What's next for Giannis and the Bucks?
Giannis was sold coming into the year on championship contention. They just have not been able to get on the same page about winning, about the future, about him.
Stay up to date right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's always interesting going into the YouTube comments because
I don't think it's going to be a good Friday for me in the YouTube comments.
No, nobody's pointing out.
What'd you say now?
Nobody's calling you an imbecile in there. I got Sam asking, why didn't Brian Gutekunst get another quarterback before trading Malik Willis? Well, he didn't trade Malik Willis. Malik Willis left as a free agent. He did. He got Desmond Ridder. You may not like that, but that appears to be their next reclamation project. I've got someone suggesting that Woody's HR was off Kershaw in Game 1 of the NLCS. Is that... So he's fact-checking you, Jesse.
Huh. Yeah, it's
so
possible.
You'll have to check on that.
He pitched Game 1 and Game 6. I thought it was Game 6 all
Yeah,
along.
again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's what it says here.
Jason,
also,
what has been the greatest Packers moment since 2000? Let's go 2010 till 2026. What has been the best moment in your eyes?
So are you eliminating? So are you? There was one more thing I wanted to get to, by the way. Thanks.
Okay.
So are you eliminating now the Super Bowl year?
No, Super Bowl year. It's up to that season till then.
Because there's tons of moments in that season.
Because I think there's Jesse's. What's the genesis of this and what's all this stuff? The question I have is the moments that win a championship, that they don't necessarily be the greatest individual plays or the most memorable per se, but they lead to the most memorable moment.
So
that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. So here's the thing, and I don't think this is really Tim Tebow in our YouTube comments, but I actually said this yesterday when we kind of had the genesis of this discussion occurring during the show when you brought it up. For me, the Bucks championship run, the play that stands out is Drew Holiday's steal and then the valley oop to Giannis in Phoenix. Right? That's the play. That's the it is time Clay Matthews fumble forcing play on Rashard Mendenhall. That, to me, is that moment. That is Desmond Howard's kickoff return for a touchdown or Favre's touchdown pass to Rison with his helmet off. That stuff, right? So there's that moment. And if you asked me the other Bucks moments, I'm going to have a really hard time.
The block to win game whatever at Fiserv.
The next one is
tight game 5.
The next one for me is Kevin Durant's shoe being too big.
Okay.
And his foot being on the line. So if there's pushback on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776 on Tausch's take, I don't disagree with him philosophically on if it leads to a title, it's that much more memorable and important. And if it doesn't have quite the same cachet. There aren't enough titles that we have to have other memorable moments from these teams that we follow because there ain't a whole lot of titles in here.
Are the moments from that Super Bowl run better than the Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers connection in the Chicago game, or the Cookie and Rodgers? Those were all great plays, but they didn't lead to a championship. So is the Clay Matthews forced fumble, is the interception by Nick Collins, are all of those greater plays in the annals of Wisconsin sports history, or is the plays that led to a championship, the Tramon Williams pick 6 before half?
Exactly. That's the next one I was going to say.
That's really the je ne sais of what the question I'm asking. And there's the Jared Cook play was fantastic. The blitz on 4th down was great, but it didn't lead to this is time, it is now, all of the quotes and everything else that goes into it. That's the question I have.
Yeah,
that's the question.
You're right.
So how do you answer it?
I answer as they are bigger because they led to a title. I don't disagree. I just don't want to. I guess my argument back to you was there are not in like if we did this. If this was what's the station in Boston? The Hub, is that their like big sports station?
I have no idea.
Sure.
I don't know.
They
Hub.
If we're
Hub Arkish.
You're home for Boston Sports Talk.
I had a point, believe it or not. If they were doing this with the Patriots, and memorable plays. They got, 6 titles to choose from? Right?
You know what would be one of the tops, though? Would be the play that the Giants made against them.
For
all
sure.
those championships, that play
David
would still
Tyree
resonate.
trapping the ball against
Head
his
tap.
helmet. Or
the Patriots head tapped whether or not that was a catch or not, and it ended up being a catch, which is ironic. That was the genesis of that of the ABS.
My point is that those other memorable moments, I don't think they should necessarily be forgotten or downgraded because they didn't lead to titles. It's just there are. What do we have? We have the Packers 2010 team winning the Super Bowl, and we have the 2021 Bucks winning the NBA title. So if we are going, and again, it's not because I don't think you're right, because I do think the plays that lead to titles are even more memorable and more important. If we limit it to that, the pickings are slim.
But we don't have to limit it to that. I'm just intrigued to find if that is where our head's at. For you, I don't know. I don't think you care. Jesse, what I don't understand is Jesse is all about winning championships, and then he's sitting here saying, that's the disconnect that I'm feeling.
What do you
Jesse?
mean I'm all about winning championships? When have I ever said I'm all about winning championships? Enjoying the Brewers runs.
The Packers haven't been good enough. They can't win. They haven't won a championship in 15 years. That's what.
No, I mean, they should be in a Super Bowl in the last 15 years, given how good they've been. The last couple of years, they've been a 7 seed, and they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Last year, they were 9-3-1. I was the one who was positive about them. You were saying they weren't good enough last year. I said run it back with a lot of say that. You're mischaracterizing what I'm saying entirely by painting me that way.
Uh-oh, Cheerio.
The Brewers, I said, the Brewers getting to the NLCS last year, beating the Cubs in Game 5 of the NLDS was as memorable a moment as we've had as a Brewers fan in my lifetime. And then they lose to the Dodgers in 4, and the Dodgers go to win the World Series for the second time in a row with Ohtani and all those guys. Yeah, it's okay to not win a championship and still celebrate the big moments. I've never said anything otherwise.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We will get to some of your texts coming up on this. Again, it is when you stop to think about it. There have been a lot of great moments in Wisconsin sports during our time doing this show and during our time following these teams, dating back to when I started covering the Packers in 1996. That said, there are precious few titles. And you hit it on the head with the Brewers. We got lots of memorable moments for the Brewers. None of them have ever led to a World Series title because they've never won one. And that's why we're doing documentaries that we love on the 1982 team. We also love American Family Insurance.
And indeed we do. The American Family Insurance is always a great call. I've been around this game for a long time, and I'll tell you, having the right people in your corner makes all the difference. That's what you get with American Family Insurance. Local agents who understand what you've built and who help you protect it with the right home and auto coverage, all at the right price. So when life throws something your way, you're ready. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance, a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here, and heading into Easter weekend, I'm hoping we have an excellent Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paint. So I'm not sure how good their team is at coloring eggs, but I do know the pro painters at Holman Lindsay are far better than any of us. at taking care of paint projects at our homes. Get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for by simply stopping into any Madison area Hallman Lindsay location. The team at Hallman Lindsay will help pair you with the best pro for the job. And we've seen how up and down Wisconsin's weather can be over the last month. Remember, Hallman Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Hallman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at hallmanlindsay.com. And stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out this edition of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Keeping up with vehicle maintenance is tough, so Metro Ford of Madison makes it easy with mobile service. Metro Ford will come directly to you, home, office, wherever your day takes you. Their Ford-certified techs handle oil changes, filters, batteries, wipers, inspections, and more, all without a visit to the dealership. You stay on schedule, we'll take care of the rest. Call 608-246-3600 today to book your mobile service appointment, and let service come to you. That's Metro Ford of Madison. Visit them at metrofordofmadison.com.
What if your screens could disappear until you needed them? Meet Pella's 250 series vinyl windows with the accordion hidden screen. Designed to give you a clearer view with 44% more light than conventional screens. The hidden screen appears when the window opens to let in fresh air, then tucks away when you don't need it, giving you a clearer view that's beautiful, practical, and even easier to clean. Order today and get 0% interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com today.
My fiance wanted to incorporate me in the process of picking out my engagement ring. And we went to Chalmers, and that was the first place that we went to look for rings.
The staff educated us right away, and we felt very comfortable, and I learned a lot about diamonds.
Chalmers did a great job explaining the process to us, the type of grade of the diamond.
Just from the second you walk in, I mean, there's somebody who's taking you over, showing you exactly what you want in your price range.
I think that my ring is the most beautiful ring I've ever seen, thanks to Chalmers Jewelers.
Some things just feel like summer. Grilling out, sparklers after dark, and classic flavors that bring back core memories. That's the inspiration behind the new Carbless Americana Backyard Bliss Variety Pack, made to celebrate America's 250th birthday. With 4 brand new flavors, including strawberry, cherry, grape, and apple, it's packed with nostalgic flavor and backyard tradition in every can. Celebrate summer and let flavor ring with the new Americana Backyard Bliss 8-pack from Carbless. Pick up the brand new variety pack at your local retailer or go to drinkcarbless.com to find it near you.
At Associated Bank, we know it's not always fun thinking about saving. You know what is fun? Not thinking about it. That's why we call it automated savings. You save automatically. How much you want, how often you want, for whatever you want. And if you don't know how much to save, well, that's why we're here. We'll suggest an amount so you hit your target without ever thinking about it. See, saving can be fun, especially when it's automatic. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Well, it's bracket season, and Pizza Hut's got the watch parties covered. And right now, get a large 3-topping pizza for just $10. Try it on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Crispy and golden outside, soft and fluffy inside, and finished with garlic parm seasoning. Order today at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. A large 3-topping pizza for just $10 on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Pizza Hut, feed good times, and remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Eight 844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Things sometimes take a turn in the YouTube comments. This is not most memorable moments that sucked. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. So if we want to do those, there are definitely plenty of those. I'm not interested in that either. That is the photographic negative. I know nobody has film anymore of what we were talking about, though, right? Like, yes, Tim, Rodgers throwing 2 interceptions in Seattle in the NFC Championship game, and Bostic fielding the onside kick, and Julius Peppers telling Morgan Burnett to go down, and the fake field goal that we all saw coming from the press box, and thinking, this seems like a situation where Pete Carroll might try something here. Yeah, those all were terrible, and they're all memorable for all the wrong reasons, because that team should have been in a Super Bowl, and that team, if it isn't a Super Bowl, changes legacies, especially if they win that Super Bowl. Also, Erica asks a question, and she is obviously a diehard Aaron Rodgers fan. What are the memorable moments to this point that Jordan Love has provided? Which is also a fair question.
The comeback against New Orleans in his rookie year was awesome.
From 17-0.
Playoff win in Dallas, but that was a big-time team effort. He was great. Yeah. He's been good, but that's
not a lot of moments
and win. Yeah, how you get and win championships are having those big moments, having a drive at the end of the San Francisco game to go down and get points. That's how you do it. And unfortunately, Jordan and his teams have not been able to do that, especially the last couple of years.
Jesse, what are you getting from the text portion of the Talk and Text line?
Some different responses here. Ian and East Troy, when you don't have the championships to hang your hat on, all you have is the special moments, which I've seen that theme across some of the responses on YouTube and on the text line, that we celebrate these moments because we're not the Patriots and because we're not Ohio State football with multiple championships to commemorate. And so we remember divisional round games and conference championship or wild card performances.
That's a really good point.
What's the happy meter? What is as Wisconsin sports fans, with the lack of championships that we believe we should have, but with a lot of great moments and with a lot of MVPs, are we generally, if we did an overall happiness poll of being a Wisconsin sports fan the last 15 or 16 years, are we 1, Smokey the Bear, like we're smoking hot, we're excited about it, or 5, where it's whatever?
Now, this is a great question. I mean, now this is what we should take calls and texts on. Your happiness meter as a Wisconsin sports fan. Oh, so again, where do you want to start the clock? 2011 after the Super Bowl championship? The last 15 years?
Yep.
So we're taking that out of the mix. You don't get to have the... What was he, the freezer, right? He wasn't the fridge. He was the freezer with his pick six and holding the ball out a little bit prematurely. You were on the sideline in that moment, right? Were there people that were a little apprehensive that B.J. Raji was showing off the ball before he'd crossed the goal line? None of those count. Tramon Williams pick six just before the half in Atlanta. All the Super Bowl memories. We're starting on like February 7th of 2011. Or whatever the day after the Super Bowl was. Your happiness meter as a Wisconsin sports fan. Jesse, you should poll this. I don't know if we need Smokey the Bear, because you only get 4 choices. But 1 would be ice cold, and 4 would be steaming hot. I am intrigued by this. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Tausch, where is your happiness meter to get us started?
I would say I am right in the middle. 2 or 3. I'm definitely not stoked. When you start factoring in where the Bucs are and where they're headed.
Badger football.
I think the Green Bay Packers, it's been a good ride. It's been fun. It's been disappointing when you start looking at how things have finished. The Brewers, I'm not ready to give in like I think most of our fans have, where it's just like we're not going to win a World Series. I still think we can. I was disappointed we didn't last year. I understood. I've kind of come around on it, but the Brewers in the last 10 or 15 years, they've exceeded my expectations for being as consistent. I thought we would have a good year, have to dump a bunch of players and reset a lot more than we have. We haven't had a reset.
Right.
It's been really impressive. So for them, I'd give them a 4. For the Packers, I'd go a 2. For the Milwaukee Bucks, with a championship in tow, I'd say a 3. And, with Wisconsin sports as a whole, when you start factoring in volleyball and everything else, they're a 4. So, all right, you look at it, obviously football the last 4 or 5 years would not be a very high score. But all in all, I think I'm going to go with a 3 out of 4. So I'm generally happy with Wisconsin sports. And I think from a Packer standpoint, I'd probably go 2. And that leans, and that's why I was torn. But I'm going to lean that needle all the way to the 3 out of 4 to get it there.
2 is not very high. It feels like you just don't want to go any lower. But a lot of disappointment. Some great moments for the Packers. The playoff win in Dallas in 2023 is really the last. I mean, God, you think about if we go back to you and Max in the stands.
You take the Dallas Cowboys out of the equation.
It's exactly what I was about to say.
Not a lot of and the fact that they gave us Micah Parsons. Like, you take Dallas out of the equation, there's not a ton to be super excited about postseason football.
You're right. That's a big difference between that and how we feel about being UW Credit Union members, though. A lot of excitement about that.
Indeed. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here forever. You proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. UW Credit Union's mobile app, it offers a simple way to check accounts, make transfers, and more. That is a smart play from the pocket. If you got cheddar on your mind, UW Credit Union can help. No monthly fee checking and great rates that are going to let you keep more of that cheese. Join today at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talk and text line. This is more on the spectrum of happiness. From 1 smiley face to 4 smiley faces, where are you after the Packers Super Bowl 45 win to today? How many smiley faces do you give it? We'll get to your responses next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Mark Tauscher here, and the countdown to the draft is on. You know what I'm taking with my number 1 pick anytime I'm looking for an ice-cold beverage. The Blue Mountains and the cool, refreshing taste of an ice-cold Coors Light. At a baseball game in Milwaukee, at a bar down the road, or hanging out watching a game at home. Every experience goes from good to great with Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans turn blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Viva Las Badgers! Wisconsin men's hockey is frozen 4-bound for the first time since 2010. Badger captain Ben Dexheimer joining Wilde and Tausch, replaying his game-winning walk-off goal that sent Pucky to Vegas.
I shot it. I saw it trickle in. I think I blacked out a little bit, but I turned towards the boys on the bench, and I don't have too deep of a celebration bag, so I think I just jumped about 3 feet in the air and threw my hands in the air and was just like, we're going to Vegas.
Wisconsin faces North Dakota in the Frozen Four semis Thursday afternoon.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2030 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com.
Game day in my house is everything. I get out of class, I grab my gear, and get to the game because I can't wait. And my dad, he does the same thing. He's an official here in Wisconsin. He makes the tough calls, stays cool under pressure, and knows ball like nobody else. I want to be just like him. You can too. Sign up at highschoolofficials.com.
Friday nights taste better at the Bridges. The Bridges Bar and Restaurant is back with a classic Friday fish fry, plus non-fish specials and prime rib. Great food, great drinks, and a perfect way to kick off the weekend. Fridays at the table and on the course at the Bridges Golf Course in Madison.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's badgerlandexteriors.com.
Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
What's new at Zimbrick Chevrolet? A lot. A free car wash with every service, plus a brand new detail facility to keep your ride looking fresh all year long. Relax with coffee and snacks while you wait, and if you can't, grab one of their numerous service loaners, take the shuttle, or even get a lift on them. Plus, Zimbrick Chevrolet has the largest new Chevrolet inventory in southern Wisconsin, and you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Brewers baseball is back.
Mizorowski, the pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Blew a fastball by him at 99 for his 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Jesse has put the poll on the field with lots of smiley faces. We'll see how the balloting goes. We'll check in on that at the top of the hour. But let's get a call in first. Let's go to Kay in Cambridge. Kay, good morning. How happy are you as a Wisconsin sports fan?
3.75 happy.
Oh, I like the decimal point. I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why?
Yeah. So, well, because I'm old, right? I'm in my 60s, and so I remember, I know we're not going back that far, but it defines happiness now because I remember the Don Morton days and the Sherman days, and when we did not have Brett Favre, followed by Aaron Rodgers, followed by Jordan Love. I mean, we have built some dynasties, Giannis in our programs. Plus, we have to take a look and consider the women's sports. How many of our Badgers were on the women's Olympics team? Mm-hmm. Our hockey team is just amazing. So we've come a long way in the decades. And we are so close. That's why I have to leave the 0.25 there. We've got to figure out a way to make it happen.
Hey, what are you doing on Wednesday? Because you and I can enjoy 50% off our meals at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford if you don't have any plans.
Excellent. Love it.
Okay, thanks for your call and thanks for your insight. I'm sorry.
It's actually on the way for Jesse and I. I'm going to be driving this time because Jesse, with gas prices going up, had asked me to drive. We could grab Kay. Like, that's right on the way down. Isn't Cambridge kind of on the way to Rockford?
We find a nice little meeting point just off the
highway.
highway.
We'll meet you at that parking ride about 7:55 on Wednesday. We'll come grab you.
So I do think, and this was what I was going to bring up earlier, it does matter how much unhappiness you've experienced as a fan in previous iterations of Wisconsin sports teams, it influences how happy you are with what we've got. I mean, if we were doing this show in like 1988, we'd be booted off the airwaves for even bothering to ask if anybody was happy. The Packers were terrible. Favre had not yet arrived. Wolf had not yet arrived. The Brewers were terrible, right? I mean, that was the post.
It actually would have probably been really fun. I would have broken down my marbles at St. Mary's grade school. And how many times my jumbo needed to be hit by a croc eye.
The Bucks were terrible. Badger football was terrible. Badger basketball was terrible. Our women's sports weren't nearly as good as they are now. Like, now that would have been a challenging period of time.
I think you can look at this, and Kay just said 3.75, which is extremely happy. I think we can all agree that we are, and especially in the last decade, been very blessed to be a Wisconsin sportsman. We're in the mix.
Yeah.
We have stars. We're relevant. We're good. We've been great at some sports. Kay just mentioned it, our women's sports kicking tail. There's a lot of things to be incredibly proud of. But because this is so Packer dominant and the fact that we've fallen short and in such heartbreaking fashion, are you blessed? And since it's Good Friday, are you blessed or are you not blessed? I think most of us would say we're blessed.
Jeff and Monroe, I'm a 4. I lived through the black hole that was the 1970s and 1980s, except for the 82 Brewers and the 71 Bucks. There you go. Yep, I get it. Again, I do think that factors in to how happy you may be even amid the disappointments of recent years. All right, we'll get to a few more of your texts before we pivot. But I need to tell you about someone that you'll be happy with if you've been injured in an accident, which you're certainly not happy about. But if you need to be taken care of and you need to make sure that you get what you deserve, you'll be very happy with Gruber Law Offices. You don't pay them unless you win, and they will win because that's what they do. Make the call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we're hitting the road to one of my favorite places. Tausch here, and Wilde and Tausch will be live from Hard Rock Casino Rockford on Wednesday, April 8th. Jason, Jesse, and I will be on site from 9 to noon for our show. And with over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment, who knows what we'll get into at Hard Rock after the show. Can't forget about the diverse dining options and the museum-worthy memorabilia. Come see us for Wilde and Tausch on April 8th down in Rockford, right off I-90, just an hour from Madison.
This is Wisconsin linebacker Mason Posa.
Mason Posa shuts the door!
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison, Milwaukee, and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison for generations. Check them out 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Milwaukee Brewers start their first road trip of the 2026 season tonight in Kansas City, visiting the Royals. First pitch at 6:45. Pregame coverage starts just after 6 o'clock on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN, and of course, the Brewers Network flagship, 620 WTMJ. Chad Patrick gets the start on the mound for the Brewers tonight. Tonight's game is streaming exclusively on Apple TV+. It is not available on your regular Brewers TV network, only on Apple TV+, if you want to watch Brewers and Royals tonight. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks back at home. They host the Boston Celtics at Fiserv Forum. Tip time set for 7 o'clock in Madison. You can listen to that game on 1670 The Zone. Also hear it on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. And the latest from the NFL meetings as head coach Matt LaFleur, general manager Brian Gutekunst, President Ed Policy all met with the media earlier this week. Rob Domofsky has it covered. Check it out at ESPN.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Let's take a couple more text messages on this, and then I do want to get to something that Kevin Clark got out of Kirk Cousins a couple weeks ago. Kirk Cousins now signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. I was skeptical all along that he would end up coming to the Packers. That just didn't make sense to me, and it did not end up happening. But he said something that was really interesting that I think Tausch, as the originator of no frosh play until Thanksgiving Day, might find intriguing. Jesse, give me a couple more text messages first from the Carbless Talking text line on the happiness scale of 1 to 4 smiley faces.
Here's one from Matt in West Bend. Expectations have to go into my rating for the Packers. After the 2010 Super Bowl, I thought we would win multiple championships. 1 disappointed face rating for me.
Yeah. And so I'm intrigued by that because, as I think I mentioned yesterday, I always think in terms of the journey, and there are moments of adversity for every year's team of every sport. This year for the Bucs, there's been all kinds of adversity and disappointment, right? And then there are moments where you overcome that adversity and you deliver a big win and you get on a winning streak and you're feeling really good. The Packers, 9-3-1, and then they never won another game. So I think of each season as a chapter in a book, and maybe the chapter doesn't end the way you like it, but there are some pages in there that were really interesting and really fun to read. I don't know if you look at the Packers since they won Super Bowl 45, if all you have is one disappointed face to show for it, that's a little harsher than I would expect. I would think that there were some other pretty darn good moments in there. But, again, he's right, Tausch. You said it about expectations, and Matt in West Bend is on the same team as you are.
Yeah, I don't know how to kind of look at this from a perspective of the journey, because you're on these journeys, and if you don't end up at your destination, like, are you happy if you're going – well, you don't travel, but let's say Paula – says she's going down to Florida, and she wants to go down to the beach with her kids. And is she happy? She gets on the plane in Green Bay. She gets a nice baked good from you, a big smooch and a kiss and everything is going great. She gets on the plane.
Oh, one each.
And it gets diverted to...
This is not your best work. Because here's
Maryland.
The problem with this.
No, hold up a second.
No. Here's the problem.
And it gets diverted to Maryland, but then she goes to Maryland, and she has a nice time eating clams and all that good stuff. But she never actually gets to. She never ends up getting to Florida, so she doesn't get to her destination. But she has a nice little trip that was unexpected.
Right, but all the people that travel, there are 32 teams in the NFL, and only one gets to its destination? So you're saying that all these travelers that are going to be in a long line of TSA, the vast majority are not getting to their destination.
But the Jets never even get to the airport. Their car tire blows out. Then they get another car to come, and at the catalytic converter doesn't work. They don't even get to the airport. Then there's some that get there, but it's always delayed, and they're sitting at the airport for 16 weeks. And then there's some that get up in the air, and unfortunately they have engine trouble, and they have to get diverted. And then there's some that get there, but then they can't get a car to actually get to their location. So there's differing views on what that journey looks like.
All right, I'll give you this. You saved that analogy really well. I don't know if that was your intention, but your adjustments with the Jets not getting to the airport, pretty good. Quite good, actually.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jesse, what else do you have on the Carbless Talk and Text line?
Mike on the west side sends in 4 smiley faces. I want to spend the most time I can excited. The happy season more than covers the sad end. Ooh, I'm choking here. It's way better.
Jesse's getting emotional.
It's way better than one championship every 20 years and 19 years of the season being over by week 4. Yeah.
Don't get me started on that one championship every 10 years and 9 losing seasons bit. That is my number one pet peeve topic that we've ever done. Because I just don't believe those people talk about journeys. How miserable are those 9 years? And if you think about it, if you take 30 years then, and you have 27 losing seasons and 3 championship seasons, and that's your lifelong fandom, I'm not buying it that you're happy. Just not.
I don't know, man. If the Milwaukee Brewers win a World Series this year and they go the next 10 and stink, I think we'd all take it.
And they lose 100 games a year for the next 9 years.
I don't think it matters.
That's the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
That's the Miami Marlins. They've got 2, and they stink. And they're regarded as one of the worst franchises ever.
We have 0.
And no one goes to their games.
But I'd much rather be the Brewers than either of those franchises. Easily.
Okay. All right. Great.
And you'd much rather be like Kay in Cambridge at Hard Rock Casino Rockford on Wednesday than anywhere else.
We're hitting the road. Old Jell and I are going to be rocking down I-90 heading towards Rockford, Illinois on Wednesday, April 8th. Jason will be joining us. We're going to be on site doing our show. I just love those graphics that they put up right behind us at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, and it's on a Wednesday. So for Kay and anybody that's 55 and older, head on down. You're going to get that great seniors discount at the really beautiful restaurant. We've eaten there. It's fantastic. They have over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment. And you know what? Who knows what else we'll get into at the Hard Rock after the show. I'm fairly certain we're going to hit the old sports book. I'm fairly certain we will take some futures on our Green Bay Packers, and I would guess we'll also take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers as well. You also can't forget about those diverse dining options and museum-worthy memorabilia. So come on down for Wilde and Tausch, coming up this Wednesday, April 8th, right in Rockford, about an hour from Madison, just off of I-90. Look for the big old purple and gold guitar, and head on in to catch Jason, myself, and Jesse doing our show 9 to noon on Wednesday, April 8th.
And you don't have to have a backup plan. Just come down and spend some time with us and get your 50% off your lunch if you're old enough.
Yep.
The Packers, on the other hand, they do have to have a backup plan. And it won't entail Kirk Cousins. We'll hear from him. Talk a little bit about where the Packers stand at the backup quarterback position next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Now you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. I loved it then, and I love enjoying Pizza Hut, making new memories with my family today. And speaking of making memories, it's bracket season, and Pizza Hut's got the watch parties covered. Get a large 3-topping pizza for just $10. Try it on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust, crispy and golden outside, soft and fluffy inside, and finished with garlic parm seasoning. Order today at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. Feed good times with a large 3-topping pizza for just $10 right now at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
What if your screens could disappear until you needed them? Meet Pella's 250 series vinyl windows with the accordion hidden screen. Designed to give you a clearer view with 44% more light than conventional screens. The hidden screen appears when the window opens to let in fresh air, then tucks away when you don't need it, giving you a clearer view that's beautiful, practical, and even easier to clean. Order today and get 0% interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com today.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out their full lineup of vehicles and find the one that's right for you, or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
We're on the Bucks.
They're showing Giannis that we're doing everything possible to keep you happy.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
Tausch, did you want Kirk Cousins?
Nope.
Why not?
I did not.
Why not?
I think he's had a really nice NFL career. He's obviously killed it in the money-making side of it. I wanted Justin Fields for the same reason that Malik Willis was successful. I felt like he could have done that here. I think Matt LaFleur has found a way to really utilize running quarterbacks and quarterbacks that can do things on the move that are maybe a little bit undervalued. That's one thing you'll never say about Kirk Cousins. He's never been undervalued from a financial standpoint. And do I think Kirk could come in and do some things and help out in a pinch? Would I have been totally irritated if they had signed him as a backup? No. But I'm not interested in spending $11 million on a backup quarterback that is basically at this point a statue. So LaFleur, I believe he's big into making sure the quarterback can be on the move, can do some things. And I love the formula that he found with Malik.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of guys like that. So that's why I would say I was never on the bring Kirk Cousins in. I'm not interested. If at any time I wanted an older veteran quarterback, it would have been in year one of starter for Jordan Love, not year 4.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sidetracked, but I do want to ask you a quick follow-up to that. There was someone in the YouTube comments earlier. It's not to the level of they faked the moon landing, but suggesting that the Packers should have traded Jordan Love and kept Malik. Malik Willis will be a better quarterback than him. I'm not going to dignify that with a response. I disagree with it. But do you think Matt?
Now, if you want to say at $15 million a year, and compared to $60 million or $55 million a year, that's a conversation we could entertain.
I agree with you on that. But to your point about quarterbacks that can run, I was talking to Jordan at his cleat giveaway last week, and he does not view himself as a running quarterback at all.
He's not, but
he's certainly
he can get out of the pocket and do things.
Right. So he's much more mobile than Kirk Cousins, etc. But do you think that Matt LaFleur, if he drank some truth serum, would say that I wish there was a greater running element to Jordan's game? Do you think he would acknowledge that?
I think there's some moments that he wishes he'd pull it and go, but then in the same respect, he's going to make sure you get down.
Right.
Because we've seen him, twist his knee up. We've seen him, I don't know, remember the Jacksonville game, if he pulled a groin. Or whatever he did.
Yep.
There's things that you want to steer clear of, but that is a weapon. Jordan isn't some statue. He can move. He is a pocket passer. That's his deal. But he's still at the point in his career where he can make defenses pay, especially if they're playing man-to-man. And guys, he's able to elude that rush, get out and make some plays with his legs. He's really good in the play-action game in the boots where he can get out and do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Matt LaFleur would say yeah, but I don't think it's like something that he would say he really needs to add a ton in. I do think there's some moments, especially on third downs, where, maybe go instead of looking for the big throw downfield to Watson, or if it's going to be Golden or whoever it's going to be, let's get the 5 yards and get another set of downs. I think that's, if you're asking Matt LaFleur, probably where he'd be leaning.
All right. I want you to hear what Kirk Cousins said to Kevin Clark, because, again, I don't know. When I saw Kirk Cousins play in Atlanta this season, there were some mixed results, the games that I caught. I did not break down the film to the degree that I did with Nate Hobbs after his free agent signing.
Well, nobody could. Yeah.
But it wasn't great. And I'm very skeptical that the Raiders are going to start him for an extended period after they draft Fernando Mendoza. But here is what he said about young quarterbacks playing in his conversation a couple weeks ago with Kevin Clark.
If Roger Goodell called you and said, "Kirk, you had a great career. What should every team learn about how to develop quarterbacks?" What would you tell anybody asking?
Well, I do think that there was a time when, Aaron Rodgers got drafted and sat for 3 years.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer got drafted and sat for a year. But there have been teams that have said that was the plan, and then week 4, 5, 6, the guy's playing.
Yeah.
So I also think that there was a time when coaches stuck around.
Yeah.
And a quarterback learned a system and played in that system for most of his career. And nowadays, you may, like, I've had 9 play callers in my career. There's a chance next year I'm on my 10th.
Oh, my God.
And so, and I just had the quarterback coach of the Falcons reach out, and I told him, "You're my 11th quarterback coach." So the turnover has both, coaches and teammates. I think that makes it really hard because it is such a team game, and the position of quarterback requires a continuity around you that you just don't have anymore. And so the guys who, are on the back end and kind of been able to build up that experience can deal with that maybe a little more. But the young guys, you want to give them as much continuity as you can, and that just hasn't been the environment that many guys, including a Sam Darnold, have been given.
I saw it was like 21 new play callers or head coaches next year.
A lot of change,
crazy.
and so when you're asking a talented player to kind of rewire his brain to do something different, he's not going to be the same talented player because he's going to be a step slow and he's going to be learning and thinking again, and you want to take that thinking out of it. So the more you can be a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees who's been in the same system for 15 years, the better the quarterback play you're going to get.
So I watched that last night, and I thought it was really interesting. And then I said, yeah, that's great, but that's like fantasy land. Like, he mentions Carson Palmer sitting for a year, I think. The Aaron Rodgers example and then the Jordan Love example is used all the time. Patrick Mahomes sat for almost a full season. I think they started him the last game of the season in Kansas City when he was a rookie. There's just, with the amount of change and to their point about coaches who get fired quickly, that there's not a lot of patience. Like, guys are trying to save their own jobs. So coaches aren't waiting. They don't have the luxury of doing. And again, I understand the Packer way with quarterbacks. That's great and all, but you have to have 2 Hall of Famers back to back to be able to do that. Do we really think that if Jordan Love starts to slip in 3 years and they draft his replacement, that guy's going to sit for 3 years behind Jordan Love if Jordan Love isn't playing at an extremely high level? I don't think so. Like, if Jordan Love gets older and doesn't play at a high level and they've drafted another quarterback, whoever the coach is by then, I don't think he's going to be patient about that because he's got a job to save and it's his own. Am I wrong?
Well, that's the tough part, and that's why these franchises continue to circle into mediocrity, because they are pressed into doing something that's probably not the best. I don't think there's any – it's not as if there's only one way to do it. Peyton Manning went and did it. He started as a rookie. He stunk. But he learned a lot. Sure. And he was able to withstand and keep his confidence. David Carr was not able to do that. He started right away and got beaten around, and his confidence, for whatever reason, he was a good player but his confidence got sapped because he couldn't get the read. He couldn't do everything you're asked to do as a quarterback fast enough without a really good offensive line. You take a lot of sacks, and all of a sudden, then you start seeing things. Sam Darnold's a good example of you develop, and not everybody's got the resiliency that Sam Darnold has.
Nope.
A lot of quarterbacks have been kind of gold-plated their whole life. They've never had to go through all that. They've been the best player in high school and in college, and then they get there and realize it's a different animal. So, yeah, what Kirk Cousins is saying is the right way. You have to have, and that's why, I don't know who said it the other day, where players and teams win games, organizations win championships. That's what they mean. Because it takes courage from an organization to hear fans saying, what are we doing with this? We're not winning. We got this young guy. Let's just get him some experience. Well, you have to know what the makeup of that young man is, what the team does, and all of those things have to be in play. You can't just one size fits all this. And with Rodgers, I think he was talented enough. He would have figured it out had he started right away. But there's no doubt he was put in a better position the way he ended up going about it. As a matter of fact, he ended up probably having to fight to get on the field. He should have probably played earlier. So all of this, there is no right or wrong formula, but there's no doubt you're going to benefit if you have the right guy helping you understand, learn the game. And I think what the Raiders did was very smart.
I agree.
In bringing Kirk Cousins in, because you could tell Kirk Cousins will be a game analyst on a number one broadcast team probably right after he retires.
I want to get into where the Packers now stand. They did not follow your advice and acquire Justin Fields. They did not do what some wanted them to do, which was
Reports said they tried.
Yes, exactly. They were definitely they showed interest. So take that, David Kaplan. They did not acquire Kirk Cousins. Right now, they have Kyle McCord and Desmond Ridder. How do you feel about the Packers' backup situation? And you may say, well,
not great.
You may say, well, all right, champagne problems when you're worried about the backup quarterback. No, the Packers have other problems and other depth questions. There's no doubt about that.
Let me tell you something. If Goody doesn't make the move for Malik Willis, we're talking about two teams that don't even make the 7th seed.
Exactly what I was about to say.
So in order to say, you don't care and all this, he doesn't get that right. If he just sits on it and lets Sean Clifford be the guy, which would have been the easy thing to do.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe Sean Clifford would have been the guy. I don't know. We'll never know, but I don't think so. We know Clayton Tune was not the answer, unfortunately. But
certainly not with what he was playing with.
Yeah, in this case, Desmond Ridder, I have to also make sure I'm honest, because when we went and picked up Malik Willis, I did not think, especially 19 days after he gets picked up for a 7th-round pick, he gets thrown into it and he plays as well as he did. I didn't envision that.
No.
So I'm going to give Goody, the benefit of the doubt that he knows that they can develop one of these guys and be a serviceable backup. But to expect him to be anything like what Malik Willis would be, that's where Matt LaFleur shines. He's been very good at it. So hopefully that is the case. But as I'm sitting here right now, no. If Jordan Love would get hurt, if he'd pull a hammy and miss 4 weeks, I don't really care who we have on the schedule. I would think it's going to be very difficult to win games with both of these guys until I see otherwise.
We'll talk a little more about this, and then we'll play trivia after that. That's all next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and heading into Easter weekend, I'm hoping we have an excellent Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paint. So I'm not sure how good their team is at coloring eggs, but I do know the pro painters at Holman Lindsay are far better than any of us at taking care of paint projects at our homes. Get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for by simply stopping into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location. The team at Holman Lindsay will help pair you with the best pro for the job. And we've seen how up and down Wisconsin's weather can be over the last month. Remember, Holman Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people. And check them out at hallmanlindsay.com. And stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out this edition of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is express entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Gearing up for tailgating, fireworks, festivals, and updating your home. This is an absolute season for it all. Siding Unlimited can handle the home part. Start the process by visiting Siding Unlimited at 2018 South Stoughton Road and check out our amazing showroom. Ideas will follow, and eventually you'll experience our fantastic carpenters installing new windows, siding, roofing, and doors. We do it all, and it starts by visiting our showroom or going to sidingunlimited.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Now through April 5th, when you spend $50, you get 30% off, and you get 2 free pair of socks with the code SOCKS2. That's socks and the number 2. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
So Tausch made what I thought was an extremely important point as we went to break there. And I do think that depending upon how old of a Packers fan you are, you may underestimate the importance of having a competent backup quarterback. Remember in 2013... and we all love Scotty Tolzien. He's a friend of the show and someone that we all really like as a human being. He had some really good moments filling in for Aaron Rodgers in 2013 after the Seneca Wallace replacement lasted the remainder of that Bears game and didn't go very well, and then like one series the following week, if I remember. But that season was saved by our old friend Matt Flynn coming back and being available. And if the Buffalo Bills don't cut him, the Packers aren't in position to have that memorable but maybe not as important as Super Bowl type moments that they had in that Bears game in the regular season finale. In 2017, Brett Hundley wasn't good enough. Period. Finn. And Aaron Rodgers comes back for one game in Carolina. They don't play well. They lose. They shut him back down. The Packers go 7-9. The following year, Mike McCarthy does the same thing that Matt LaFleur said he's doing, which was go back to a year one playbook. And he doesn't even make it through the season. Gets fired after 12 games. But because of what Brett Favre was, and because we rarely saw Matt Hasselbeck have to play when he was the backup, or Doug Peterson when he was the backup, I do think there's a little bit of a bias of, come on, it's backup quarterback. But your point about Malik Willis, they don't make the playoffs in 2024 if he's not their backup quarterback. I firmly believe that. And while last year they didn't necessarily, they lost the Baltimore game that Love missed with the concussion, and then nobody played, including Malik, in that world-famous Minnesota game that I covered. It does matter. And so I'm looking at Desmond Ritter's track record. Desmond Ridder has started 18 career NFL games. His team's record in the games in which he started is 8-10. 2-2 his rookie year in Atlanta in 2022, 6-7 in Atlanta in 23, and he started one game for the Raiders in 2024. And they lost it. His career touchdown to interception ratio, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. His career passer rating is 82.6. But to your point, no one's excited about the possibility of Desmond Ridder, but no one was excited about Malik Willis after that trade at the end of training camp in 2024. And nobody was excited when they saw Jordan Love leave the field in Sao Paulo with that knee injury, thinking, oh, my God, they're going to have to start Malik Willis, who just got here, next week against Indianapolis. He ended up playing great. So when you think about where they're at, you're not a believer in Desmond Ridder, as you said. Do you think that Goody will ultimately have to make another move? Or will you be surprised if he does?
I believe he'll draft somebody this year that will make this team. I don't know if it's going to be Ritter or McCord. I would think that one of those guys won't make it. The other will be his backup. And then what we've seen with Goody, and I know there's, I've been critical lately, especially the way the offensive line is kind of shaking itself out. Goody has proven if things aren't good enough, he'll make a move.
It's true.
He's done it with the place kicker. He's obviously done it with the backup quarterback spot. And if we go through all of training camp and, we go through the preseason and it doesn't look right to him and it doesn't feel like they have someone competent that can hold the fort down if something happens to Jordan, he'll make a move. So I would say if you're putting the betting odds, and we're down at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, I would say it's maybe a 20% chance either of those guys are your backup. So that gives you about 40%. I would say it's a better than 50% chance somebody else is going to be the backup.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would look at it right now.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see, because one of the things that Ed Policy said at the NFL meetings when he was talking about why he extended Matt LaFleur's contract was because of what he did with quarterbacks. And he included Aaron Rodgers and what he did for him, winning back-to-back MVPs in 2020 and 2021. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would give him what percentage of credit for those, but Ed Policy certainly did, and he talked about Malik Willis as well. So if he can do that with Desmond Ridder, then they have a really good backup option. If he can't, I'm curious to see what they do instead. All right, Jesse, you want to play some trivia? Speaking of backup quarterbacks?
Yes, I do.
The category is Back It Up. Packers backup quarterbacks. They're the number 2 person on the depth chart, but I don't think you want to take caller 2.
No, that would be pretty
And Malik
quick.
Willis wore number 2.
He did, yeah. Jordan Love's number 10.
Sounds like Matthew Golden's going to wear number 2.
Is that a thing?
He wants to wear number 2 now. Yeah. He was 2 at Texas, and he wants
that will
to
give
number
him
2.
3 numbers.
Probably should do that to make him happy.
Not bad, Jesse.
We don't want any more disgruntlement. That's fair.
Not bad at all. All right, caller 10, starting quarterback wears number 10. Caller 10 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 will play trivia. Out of curiosity, do you know what Desmond Ridder's number is, Jesse?
I do not.
18. His number's 18. Caller 10 right now, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 plays trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The sound of summer is back.
First offering to Freeland is a fly ball to right. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball. Second deck for Salvatore.
Your home for the Crew. 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. I love this time of year on the sports calendar. New baseball season underway, the pro basketball playoffs coming up, and speculating what Green Bay will do in the draft, even without a first-round pick. And on top of all that, the weather is generally getting nicer and the days are getting longer. That means more sunlight and more encouragement to make the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch over the last several years. When we knew we were ready to make that switch, we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. April is Sleep Awareness Month. Get $300 in Steinhoffels cash with a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Sleep better and wake up feeling refreshed. Relax, it's Steinhoffels. Wisconsin men's hockey is frozen four-bound for the first time since 2010. Badger captain Ben Dexheimer joining Wilde and Tausch, replaying his game-winning walk-off goal that sent Pucky to Vegas.
I shot it. I saw it trickle in. I think I blacked out a little bit, but I turned towards the boys on the bench, and I don't have too deep of a celebration bag, so I think I just jumped about 3 feet in the air and threw my hands in the air and was just like, we're going to Vegas.
Wisconsin faces North Dakota in the Frozen Four semis Thursday afternoon.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2030 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 27 locations in this great state. Headquartered in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paints you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated, by drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
What's next for Giannis and the Bucks?
Giannis was sold coming into the year on championship contention. They just have not been able to get on the same page about winning, about the future, about him.
Stay up to date right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
It is time, a reference Tausch made earlier in the program, but it's not time for Clay Matthews to force a fumble that was a critical play in Super Bowl 45. It's time for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Iron Jock and Cousins Subs.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousins Subs. It's lobster season at Cousins Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
Let's welcome in our contestant. He's a 4 smiley face guy. As he texted in earlier into the show, remembering the dark ages of the 70s and 80s. He's also one of the goats of Wilde and Tausch Trivia. It is Jeff in Monroe. Jeff, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I got to get my taxes in to my tax guy. Would I be a bad customer if it's April 3rd and I haven't sent my stuff into him yet? Do you think?
Mediocre.
He usually does an extension for me anyway. All right, here we go. The category is Back It Up, Packers backup quarterbacks throughout the years. Question number 1 is this. Which of these former Green Bay Packers backup quarterbacks is the Jacksonville Jaguars' all-time passing leader, throwing for the most touchdown passes and for the most yards in Jaguars franchise history? Is it Blake Bortles, Mark Brunell, or Craig Nall?
Mark Brunell.
I believe he's also the quarterback's coach for the Lions under Dan Campbell. Have to be fact-checked on
Did
that.
Craig Nall play for Jacksonville?
Not that I know of.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
He was just one of the more obscure backup quarterbacks that I could think of.
Got a guest on our show, though.
Talk about that
Innovator.
bread.
That wasn't really funny, though.
Big bread guy.
Is that funny?
What would have been a more funny answer then? Give me
I
an
don't know.
alternative.
Something with
backup McGee,
Jacksonville, like a Gator,
third string Sally. Like what?
Yeah, I don't. Jesse, that's your thing. What you want me to start doing that now too? I can't. I don't have it in me. Go ahead. Next up.
Okay, question 2.
Are we beefing?
You kind of got after me this morning, so yeah, maybe a little beef, but nothing that we can't get through.
Talking on our car ride to the Hard Rock next week.
Yeah, Jeff's it's a long ride. That's exactly right, Jeff. We'll get it figured out by then.
Hopefully Kay and Cambridge will mediate. Question 2, Jeff.
We got to pick her up, too.
Is this? I think based on where things currently stand, she's going to be a hard pass on that. Question 2, Jeff, is this. In March 2012, the Seattle Seahawks signed former Packers backup quarterback Matt Flynn in free agency to a 3-year contract worth $26 million. How many games did Matt Flynn proceed to start during his tenure with the Seahawks? Was it 8, 16, or 0? Nunca. Zilch. Zip.
0.
Indeed.
That is crazy.
Russell Wilson, baby. Mr.
rest.
Unlimited.
The guy doesn't sleep. It's going to be tough to take a rep from him. He doesn't sleep.
Worked out okay for Russ. All right, question 3 and a chance at a perfect day. Jeff, question 3 is this. Prior to playing his final 2 college seasons at Liberty University, at which SEC school did Malik Willis play in 15 games during his first 2 college football seasons? Was it at Vanderbilt, Auburn, or South Carolina?
Wow. Vanderbilt. Whatever you said, Vanderbilt. Auburn.
No. Tausch, you want to take a crack at it?
Auburn.
Auburn, indeed. It was Auburn. Jeff, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think that's pretty much what we've had all week long throughout trivia. So you'll have 3 of the possible 4 entries into our drawing coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Good job, good effort. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
It was easier. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Thanks.
You too. Thanks, Jeff. Is there a player that fits like kind of the Malik Willis mold where we had very low expectations for them and they ended up being pretty important pickups? Because I was thinking about that through the commercial break, because your point was right on the money. You can complain about the 7th seed, but they wouldn't have even had the 7th seed if he hadn't played the way he did in 2024. Because not only did he win the 2 starts, but you mentioned the groin game in Jacksonville, home of Craig Nall, and they probably lose that game if they don't have a competent backup, because Love goes out right before halftime, and Malik Willis makes a huge throw to Jaden Reed to set up McManus's game-winning field goal. So he was really vital to what they did. All right, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour coming up. Want to remind you, and this is interesting, When is the last time you upgraded your furniture? I can actually answer that and say about a year ago, after much waiting for those couch upgrades. But if it's been a while for you, this is your moment. It's the Steinhafels No Fooling Sale. It's on right now, and it's exactly what it sounds like. No gimmicks, no April Fool's jokes, just big savings. You can save up to 30% off store-wide. Sofas, bedroom sets, dining rooms, you name it, it's on sale. And to make it even easier, 18 months, 0% interest financing. So you don't have to wait. You can just get it now and then pay it off over time. Simple, smart, and yeah, it's actually a good deal, no fooling. The No Fooling Sale right now at Steinhafels. It ends on Sunday. Visit in-store or online at steinhafels.com. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This is Wisconsin linebacker Mason Posa.
Mason Posa shuts the door!
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, trusted and local experts providing the best quality roof, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Get your free estimate today at ridgetopexteriors.com. First road trip of the 2026 regular season for the Milwaukee Brewers begins tonight at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City as the Milwaukee Brewers visit the Kansas City Royals. First of a 3-game weekend set. First pitch tonight at 6:45. Pre-game coverage starts just after 6 o'clock following Jim, Matt, and Molly here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. You can also listen to it on the Brewers Network flagship, 620 WTMJ in Milwaukee. If you want to watch tonight's game, it is streaming exclusively on Apple TV Plus, not on your local Brewers TV station. Again, Apple TV Plus exclusive streaming for the video portion of Brewers Royals tonight. You can just listen to it on the radio as well. Meanwhile, the Bucks host the Boston Celtics at 7 o'clock tonight at Fiserv Forum. If you want to listen to that in Madison on 1670 The Zone, in Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. More Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Begins now. Always thanks to the YouTube commenters. Couple of references of guys that you had no expectation for that ended up playing key roles. Howard Green from Kevin. Rasul Douglas from Caleb. Kevin also Andre Rison. I don't remember what the expectations were for Rison, but certainly intriguing that he makes that list because he certainly made a big play in the Super Bowl. So it pains me to say this, but KBN had a pretty good idea yesterday.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Wow. They asked me during my appearance. You join them once a week, right?
I do, yep.
I join them twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And they asked me, which position would I say right now on the Green Bay Packers roster is elite? And then they said, which position do you think could be could prove to be elite this coming season that isn't currently. Tausch, I put that question to you as I am curious to see if you answer the same things I did on that subject.
Yeah, where do we have Micah Parsons playing? Edge. Okay, that's elite. Tucker Kraft, elite. Safeties. I would definitely say Xavier McKinney. I think Evan Williams is on his way. I won't give it to him yet, but there were more than one set of coaches last year that said the Packers are the best safety tandem they played all year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I would go with the eliteness of the Green Bay Packers.
So I said safety as well, and I included Javon Bullard in that category because that's technically his position, even though he plays. Yeah, but it's by the position, and that conglomeration of those three guys, led by Xavier McKinney, who is an All-Pro there twice, first team 2 years ago, second team last year. That was the only one because my argument is, as of right now, we don't know when. I mean, we think Tucker Kraft will be ready for the opener. We don't know when Micah Parsons will be back. And quite frankly, I didn't really like what I saw from any of the other people that play that position when those guys became unavailable. And I think those guys dragged down two elite players to a below elite rating. I said that those guys come back and are healthy and they get some contributions from the other people. Those are the two that I picked as we could be looking at them as elite. If, let's say, Barron Sorrell, or I know he doesn't like to be called Baby Micah, but Colin Oliver, they really pop as pass rushers. And they actually have a threat, or LVN finally puts it together, and we actually see a double-digit sack guy on the opposite side of Micah Parsons who takes advantage the way it looked like Rashawn Gary was early in the season last year, then I feel good about that. Tight end, Luke Musgrave is probably what Luke Musgrave is by now, right? Going into year 4. I don't see him making a big jump. I don't know if they're going to draft somebody, or one of my favorite names on the roster, Messiah Swinson, will come up from the practice squad and have an impact next year, or maybe it'll be Darian Kennard getting more targets. But I didn't like what I saw from everybody else who played those two positions. What does that say to you? Because KBN was on the same page. They only said safety as well. What does that say to you about where this team's roster is currently? Is that concerning?
I think it's better than what KBN thinks. I think it's better than what you think. But, again, you get the O-line fixed, I'm fine with where this team is. I think their D-line, while it's not elite across the board, Devontae Wyatt is a really good player. You're not going to have 22 elite players. You can't afford that. You can't do that. So your elite players better be incredibly elite. And I would argue, when healthy, Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons are top 3 at their position. I think Xavier McKinney is top 3 at his position. That's pretty dang good. When you start looking around the league, are there other teams that have more elite players? Probably, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to go through. Let's just go through the NFC North. Where does Minnesota have an elite player? Justin Jefferson. Okay, he's elite.
Mm-hmm.
Where else?
Well, Harrison Smith is retiring.
He wasn't elite. He was a really good player, but a good player.
Okay.
Going to be probably a Hall of Famer, but at the last couple seasons, I would say he's a really good player. Elite, probably wouldn't put him there. In his heyday, elite.
Okay. Nothing pops into mind for me for the Vikings. I mean, they've had good edge rushers throughout the years, but probably not elite, and they moved on from Danielle Hunter a couple years ago, and he's in Houston having production. All right. The Lions, they have Aiden Hutchinson. Do we allow Kirby Joseph to be an elite player? He's been an All-Pro.
No.
Okay.
No, I'd take the other safety before I take Kirby.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Is he elite?
Yeah. He's elite.
Okay.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Penny Sewell's elite.
Yep.
Amon St. Brown's not. I think elite is top 3. I wouldn't put Amon St. Brown in the top 3.
Okay.
He's close though, right? It's like top 5.
He's in the mix.
Top
Yeah,
7.
he's in the mix, but I wouldn't say.
Laporta?
We're trying to do. We're trying to do an
Lapor-
elite off here.
Yeah, I know. Are Laporta and Tucker Kraft on the same plane?
No, I think Tucker's better. And I'm not like being biased and whatnot. I just think Tucker's better than Laporta.
Because he's more well-rounded, you would argue?
I think he can run block better, and I think he's more of a yard after catch guy. Laporta's a nice tight end. I actually probably take Chicago's tight end over
Loveland. Colston Loveland. Yep.
There you go.
Okay. And then if we get to the Bears, this is why I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to them after all the close games they won last year. Who do they have that you would say is elite?
I maybe would have put their center. I put Tooney,
Right.
Joe Tooney at left guard.
Okay. But Roma Dunze's not there. Luther Burden's not there. Colston Loveland's not there yet, although he sure was elite in that playoff game. Packers couldn't cover him to save their lives. And who on defense? Like, Byard left in free agency, I do believe. So
he's old, too. He's
you're right. He is.
That's what I'm saying. I think you make an argument Green Bay and Detroit have 3 elite players on each side, and you could fight me on the, on Green Bay's side of it if you want with Tucker. I think Tucker is. You guys don't have to agree with me on that. But as far as Detroit goes, that's why I think Detroit. That's why I would not sleep on Detroit yet.
And none of them have an elite quarterback yet.
Not in my definition.
No, I agree with you.
Not yet. I think I would say Jordan is in the NFC North. He'd be the quarterback I'd want of the 4 quarterbacks. He'd be, and it wouldn't be particularly close. I'd put Goff next.
I would too.
And then I'd probably go Caleb, and then I'd go Kyler Murray.
Okay. So if we're having an elite off, my last question on this would be, if Christian Watson does for an entire season what he was doing once he came back before Halloween, does the wide receiver group become elite, especially if Matthew Golden's role expands without Romeo Doubs? And again, I feel like people sleep on, and especially Gabe, on Jaden Reed. He led them in receptions and yards each of his first 2 seasons, tied for the team lead in touchdown receptions. Like, he was a really good player for them, and they broke his collarbone on a ridiculous touchdown catch that was nullified by a penalty. But, like, I think he's a really good football player. And I think they should re-sign him or extend him, and maybe they can get a discount if they do it early in the process. But if you're telling me that the top 3 wide receivers in 2027 are Christian Watson on an extension, Jaden Reed on an extension, and Matthew Golden heading into his 3rd NFL season, I feel pretty good about those top 3.
Yeah.
Do you?
As long as Christian Watson can stay healthy, it's always going to be the question mark, and that's, it is what it is at that point. If he's healthy and playing like he did, yeah, I love Christian Watson as a football player. I think he brings a skill set that nobody else does, and then you mix all those other guys in. I don't think anybody is discouraged with where we're at with the wide receiver group. I think the entire scope of the offense is going to be, I would love to get a home run hitting running back that can replace Josh Jacobs sooner rather than later, and I think the O-line needs to be fixed. Every other spot I feel really good about. No, that's obviously a big chunk, but that's where I'm at with where this offense is.
Do you feel as good about the wide receiver spot if these rumors about the Jets from Rich Cimini being interested in acquiring Dontavion Wicks, if they make that trade, do you feel as good about wide receiver? Does that not influence your feeling either way?
It won't influence me at all because my guess is they're going to, if they make that move, that either means they feel really good about Savion and they feel good about some of their other guys, or they'll draft another young player. But Dontavion Wicks, I don't believe is part of the future plans for the Green Bay Packers. If everybody stays healthy, I will be shocked if Green Bay trades him to the Jets, unless the Jets are offering something crazy sweet, you have no reason to get rid of a young wideout that knows the system, that has made some big plays for you on a rookie contract. It doesn't make any sense.
What would I don't know, I can't remember who's their GM now. It's not Joe Douglas without his leverage. And he gets Michael Spinkst. What would the Jets have to offer for you to say yes if you were the GM? Second round pick?
Fourth.
A fourth. You would say yes to a fourth round pick?
I would, yeah.
Ooh, okay. I was expecting it would be higher than that, at least a third.
Well,
all right.
You think they're going to give a second round pick for
I don't.
Like,
That's
Rashawn
what I'm
Gary
saying.
Got a fourth round pick.
I know. You said it would have to be something really sweet. I didn't think fourth round. When you said that, I didn't think fourth round pick qualified as.
Well,
really
start
sweet.
thinking about it this way: are you going to get a compensatory pick for Dontavion Wicks? Probably. It's not going to be Romeo Doubs. You ain't going to get a Romeo Doubs. If he has a Romeo Doubs type season, they'll probably re-sign him. So
let someone else walk?
Envision that happening. So if you get a fourth and then you can pick a wideout with that fourth this year, you'll take that because you reset the clock. Right. I don't envision any of that happening. I think he'll play it out and then you'll figure things out.
Okay. Jesse has something special planned for the commercial break.
Oh, really?
A digi only.
That'd be nice. Oh.
Something Tausch.
It's been a while since we've done that.
Something Tausch has been asking for a long time is now going to come to fruition during our commercial break. A special game that we're going to play for those watching on Facebook, on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, and on the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels.
Well, we can't get to that until Tausch tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin again.
Indeed, if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, I'm not sure what you're thinking. Now is the time, because Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, they're offering 0 interest financing all the way to 2030. That is 0% interest all the way till 2030. And in Wisconsin, your home does take a beating year-round. The right windows and doors, they will improve your comfort, boost your energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's look. Pella's experts will help you find the perfect fit for your home and within your budget. And with 0 interest until 2030, you can upgrade now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Is this what we're going to do? Is this what it's going to be?
It looks something like that.
Sweet card. That is a sweet card.
We will find out in a digi only, so stay tuned on the video or jump on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter if you've been listening on the radio. A digi only in the commercial break, and then some Where's Wilde when we come back. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Digi Only, where we play Guess Who That Player Is on this blank sports card. Something Tausch has wanted to do for a long time. I have 3 sports cards ready to go here, so you can take your guess on as many as you can get through during our 4-minute commercial break. Here comes card number 1. Here's our mystery player. You can see all the stats right in front of us here. Running back.
Okay.
Dorsey Levens.
Dorsey Levens is correct.
Jason's number 1. Dorsey. That's nicely done.
Number
Jason.
1 option to fill in, Dorsey Levens.
Isn't that fun when we have games and you playing them? Isn't that fun?
What was the giveaway, Jason?
So much more fun than just sitting out.
He played at Notre Dame and Georgia Tech.
Easy enough. All right, there's number 1. How about player number 2? Here you see the stats and information. Baseball, we're talking this time.
Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder is correct. And what was the giveaway this time? You both got it almost simultaneously.
Father-son.
Oh, I didn't even get down to that. It was 6-time All-Star and 2002 draft pick.
Ah, all right. This is by far the hardest of the three. So here comes the final sports card for our Wilde and Tausch Sports Card Digi-Only Challenge. Who is this player?
Conway.
Last name Conway?
He's a tight end.
That is.
I know
it's
Jesse
I
used
thought
the
it was a kicker. The
image.
guy's kicking.
It is.
No, he's kicking, and he got drafted from Penn State.
It's
I'm going
Andrew
Conway.
Corliss.
It is Andrew Corliss. Yes. Well
Why
done,
is he a place kicker?
It doesn't say he's a place kicker. It's a.
He's kicking the ball.
It's a silhouette.
I would like to state for the record that I am Team Tausch on this. I immediately thought Brett Conway, because the guy's kicking, he's in the kicking motion, and then I saw the first line says position tight end, because I saw the kicker, then I saw Penn State, then I went up and saw tight end and thought, no, Andrew Corliss, your correct answer. Jesse, I think this was exact. Well, let me ask Tausch. Is this exactly what you had in mind?
No, but I like it. What I wanted to do was have the stats, like a legit old school football, baseball card, and then you see what years, like, 1983. Oh, this person hit 270, had this, and then you can kind of see as you scroll up, you see how many years they actually played, and you figure it out. This was nice. This is a great opener to what I envisioned doing once we started doing videos way back when. This is what I wanted because I think it's fun. I had fun with it, even though Jesse puts a place kicker up there for a tight end, which I don't know how or why that happened.
That's not Jesse. That's your old friend Chad GPT.
My little friend added a silhouette there, and I didn't think to correct him. I thought his work was pretty good.
So these aren't even actual cards?
No,
this is not what I
card did you think this was?
Says Wilde and Tausch Sports Card Challenge at the top.
I'm just saying, Jason just asked me a question. I enjoyed playing. It was not my vision, but at least since I've been begging for 5 years to do this, I'm happy that
All
we're.
right, I'll scan in. I will scan in some cards.
Time's up. Bye.
Thanks to everybody who joined us on Digi Only for our debut edition of the sports cards.
3 for 3.
I think we have a partner in Beaver Dam, Real Sports Cards.
Yes.
Maybe they can help us out. It was not exactly what Tausch had envisioned, but he did acknowledge it was fun. So thanks for putting that together with your old friend Chatty GPT, Jesse.
My pleasure.
And Brett Conway getting a pop, even though there were no kickers among the options. Speaking of getting things wrong, time for myself and Tausch to get wrong where I said things in Where's Wilde.
Since he often saves his best material for other shows,
If there's something difficult we need to talk about, let's have the conversation.
we're bringing the other shows to us.
I would be very leery if I was a Packers fan.
Or are we?
Tausch takes a lot of days, man.
It's time to play Where's Wilde?
Where's Wilde, the game where Jason obviously shares all of his best material on all of our other ESPN Wisconsin shows, so we review it to try and find out where he shared all of that best material of the week. Here is Where's Wilde clip number 1.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. It's LaFleur offering up without being really prompted that there were guys that were unhappy with their roles and that took a toll on their football team. I mean, it obviously was something that not only does he think was a major problem, but something that he's not afraid of acknowledging publicly, because no one said, hey, I've been hearing that there were some guys that weren't really happy last year in their roles. What do you have to do differently about that? Like, he volunteered that information, which then leads me to wonder, all right, so why is he thinking that that's a worthwhile thing? Because, he doesn't, a lot of times he won't tell you that it's raining when all you have to do is look outside and look out the window. So, to me, that was enormous.
Opinionated, strong, insightful.
That's really good. It wasn't this show, that's for sure.
All the stuff we look for that
I'm
we
going
don't
to say
get
the
here.
Homer Hour.
The Homer Hour. That's the guest, weekdays 5 to 6 on ESPN Wisconsin. It's Tausch's guest, Jason.
Yeah, I have no idea. This is a pure guess. I'm trying to listen to the quality of audio because a lot of times I'm in the car, which I don't know if that's good audio or bad. I'm going to guess Jim, Matt, and Molly from earlier this week.
Jim, Matt, and Molly is Jason's guess. Good news, you both are wrong. That was on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Tuesday morning. Weekday morning, 7 to 9 on ESPN Milwaukee. You couldn't tell you sounded a little groggy, a little sleepy in that clip?
No, maybe a little. Tausch, let me ask you a quick follow-up, if you don't mind. Why do you think Matt LaFleur offered that up about guys being disgruntled?
I think he's a little irritated about that grade that he got. I think he's wants to snuff this out, and just like we saw with the Philadelphia Eagles, putting Jalen Hurts' stuff out into the ethosphere, I think a lot of times you're not getting through or getting your objectives done by doing things in-house. You go about it this way. So I'm guessing this has been a craw in his jaw or his spur in his boot.
Stuck in his
just
craw.
Thinking, I'm going to get this out, and I'm going to address it, and we're going to take this head on rather than try and handle it in-house, because they don't want to do this stuff out in the open. They want to keep it in-house because, listen, that for everything that Matt LaFleur said, that is also a reflection of him as a leader. So I appreciate the fact that he's honest about it, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing on either side. And he, to his credit, puts it out there because now you don't have any choice. What is it? The fresh air is the best disinfectant. There's what you got there.
Okay, good one.
Where's Wilde?
Sunlight. You're right. Sunlight. Close.
The craw on his jaw. Here is clip number 2.
I have never subscribed to the short arm theory. I've always believed you can measure the guy's arms, you can't measure the guy's heart. You and I agree that Jordan Morgan holds the key to that offensive line being not just good enough, but really good if they want it to be and if they have hopes of it being. But I watched him in Minnesota, and I didn't think very highly of his performance.
Again, memorable, opinionated, insightful, all the things we look for and don't get here 9 to noon. Tausch, where did Jason share that?
Well, that's crappy audio. I don't know with his off-season schedule. I'm not sure what Jason does. So I'm going to say Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison. Jason?
That is incorrect. And the only reason I know is because it was last night, because after getting the insights into the short arm disease from Joe Thomas when he was a Cousins sub last week, I wanted to get that from Brian Bulaga, who was also afflicted with that malady. So I asked him about it last night on the Homer Hour after Sydney's soccer game.
Do we believe the short arm theory, Tausch?
Well, is Jason right?
Oh, I'm
about
sorry. Yeah,
quotes?
he's right. Yeah.
I mean, we are playing
He's
a
right.
game here.
Homer Hour, 5 to 6.
Okay.
He knew that one. That was a slam dunk for Jason.
It was a great, and last night was one of my favorite nights. It was a great night last night. So,
what was so great about it?
Sydney played in her first high school soccer game, and much like Maddie in her first cross-country meet as a freshman last year, she cooked. She had a goal. She was a team captain, and they won the game 3-0. So it was a really good day last night. So it was in the pouring rain, which, by the way, one of the thoughts I had as we were being downpoured upon was to ask Tausch, who obviously loves that Snow Bowl playoff game against Seattle, is playing in the rain the most miserable weather conditions, or is cold and windy worse?
You're asking the wrong guy. Hot and muggy is the worst.
Especially when your starting left tackle calls in sick because of strip mall sushi in Miami.
Where's Wilde?
Give me slop all day. Give me rain. Give me snow. I am the opposite of a postman. I want that.
Fair enough.
Where's Wilde?
Do you have short arms?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, how am I supposed to know? I don't know.
How does Bulaga know? They tell him. How does Joe Thomas know? Somebody told him he's got short arms.
Yeah, nobody told me I had short arms, so.
Then you're good.
Where's Wilde?
One more
gnarly
clip.
feet. I've had that. I've got gnarly feet. That I've heard.
Let's see if you can figure out where this final clip of Where's Wilde stems from.
To me, the most surprising thing, frankly, is that he'd made up his mind before that playoff game even happened. You know, and Tausch always busts my chops about this because the way I got clipped for social media after the game in Chicago as we were driving back, and I was on at like 1:30 in the morning on Green Bay game night with Homer, I said, I have a hard time seeing him walking back into the building. But the larger point that I was making about LaFleur was that with a new team president, he's not the one who hired Matt LaFleur, and not knowing how Ed Policy was going to react to a loss like that. I mean, those are the kinds of losses that get people fired.
Context, insight, all the good stuff talking about Matt LaFleur. Tausch, where did Jason say it?
Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Weekdays 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison is Tausch's guest. Jason?
Yeah, I was definitely wrong about Ed Policy. I thought, hey, new sheriff in town. I thought this guy may come in and say, you know what, that's not acceptable, losing to our rivals. But I was wrong. He definitely did not do that.
It is acceptable. Nothing wrong with that.
We're fine with that. I'd actually decided I was keeping him before he lost that first game to the Bears. KBN.
And Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekday afternoon starting at 2 is Jason's guess. One of you is correct. With Josh DiMaggio and Molly Brown on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
They never want to wear the collar, so I'm glad we at least got one.
Jim and Matt both with the week off. Josh DiMaggio filling in on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, that was an interesting twist. I didn't know that was coming when Wooly called me that day. That was a nice surprise. Joshy getting some runs, so that was fun. Yeah, again, Tausch, I was glad that they asked me about that because, you know, when you read what Ed Policy said, I'm guessing there were Packers fans who did not love that he had made up his mind that he was keeping LaFleur before that game was even played. I don't know. I am not, as you well know, I am always measured and hedging. I am not knee-jerk reaction guy. I underestimated his patience. I really did. I thought, hey, I'm in charge now, and this. I looked down the row. He was in the same row as me, the front row of the press box in Soldier Field, and he was sitting next to Goody, and they were probably 4 seats down from me. And you could just tell both those guys were just sitting there, there was no steam coming out of their ears, but it was a slow burn as things fell apart in that fourth quarter. And I wondered, is this someone who is going to show patience with a guy that he didn't hire, even though they had known each other, obviously Matt LaFleur's entire tenure, and he was on the hiring committee, but it was Mark Murphy's call, and he ended up, again, as it turns out, Would you, if you were him, would you have said that you had already decided that you were keeping him even before that playoff game?
Yeah, if it was honest. I mean, listen, honesty is always the best policy.
It's also the best
and
infectant.
In Ed Policy's
like
case, it's
sunshine.
It's something similar to that. Yeah, if that's how you felt and that was your process, great. It gives you a little insight into how he approached it. And I think what he was trying to do in that whole thing was that he was not going to let one result turn the emotion into doing something that, in the long run, he doesn't believe is the best for the Green Bay Packers. That's what I took from that entire scenario.
That is... Where's Wilde?
Where's Wilde?
Been a while since we played that one.
We have not played that in a while.
It was good.
And maybe where you'll find Wilde next could be Potawatomi Casino Hotel, because you don't need to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is right there in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. The biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites that are perfect for that weekend reset, that date night, or celebrating something big. And you're just steps away from everything that's happening inside. And, I'm always hungry, and when I'm there, I have all kinds of options. Dream Dance Steakhouse for their premium steaks. The Marketplace for pizza, burritos, quick bites. Rock and Brews, that's the high-energy vibe, and where they have my favorite salmon. Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company, all kinds of options for you. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Beautiful day for Brewers baseball. Brats in one hand, your Brewers checking card from Associated Bank is in the other. And with a tap, it's 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. An express entry so you can tailgate longer. And up to 50% off home game tickets. All that power, all for the crew. Only with Brewers checking from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best local sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
What if your screens could disappear until you needed them? Meet Pella's 250 series vinyl windows with the accordion hidden screen. Designed to give you a clearer view with 44% more light than conventional screens. The hidden screen appears when the window opens to let in fresh air, then tucks away when you don't need it, giving you a clearer view that's beautiful, practical, and even easier to clean. Order today and get 0% interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Brewers baseball is back, and there's only one way to celebrate. With a Surfside iced tea and vodka or a Surfside lemonade and vodka. Smooth, refreshing, and made for game day. Surfside is the perfect match for a day at the ballpark or catching the game at home. Surfside is only 100 calories with 0 bubbles, so it goes down easy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Brewers baseball is back.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Before we get to Nelly, we've got some goodies to give away from Cousins Subs and Iron Jock. And Jesse has the cheese fry helmet in tow. He's going to pull this week's winner for Wilde and Tausch Trivia.
A lot of chips in here again this week. Almost everybody except for Lee on Monday. Everybody has 3. Lee has all 4. Let's find out. Here's our winner. And the odds were in his favor. Lee in Cottage Grove.
Good win for Lee.
Winner of the week. And even better news for those who didn't win. Next week, rumor has it, a third partner will be joining Wilde and Tausch Trivia as part of the prize pack. Stay tuned next week.
A trifecta, wow.
A trifecta pack. This Wilde and Tausch Trivia is starting to be quite the prize pack that people go. You get Cousins Subs, you get Iron Jock, and now next week another one is coming our way.
Do you ship out the prizes, or does somebody have to come get? How's that work?
I don't do anything. I pass the information along, and
if that's not a hot button, I certainly expect that to be a hot key moving forward. I don't do anything.
Hey, I got my part of the conveyor belt. I put my information on there. I pass it along, and then poof, it's out of my hands. I don't know how we do it necessarily. I know some people have come by to pick them up. I know I delivered one to somebody a couple weeks ago, and that was it.
Okay. Time now for Jesse to do something, and that is Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
This parlays shockingly well into the first story of Whoa, Nelly.
The moon landing?
It is not. The Brewers play the Kansas City Royals tonight. First road series of 2026.
Is Ned Yost still their manager?
No.
Okay.
Carter Jensen is a 22-year-old rookie catcher for Kansas City. He got benched yesterday because he overslept. Royals had a day game against the Minnesota Twins, and Carter Jensen was late getting to the ballpark. Didn't get all of his conditioning in, ready to go before the game. Overslept. Said it was on him. Alarm didn't go off. Won't make that mistake again. Some of the veteran players weighing in on it as well. It got to the point where they were calling his parents and others, making sure he was going to be okay and all that. Yeah. It was a little scare for the Royals. Turns out he just overslept. When is the last time either of you have overslept? something of significance?
I'll let
Been a while.
Tausch spend some time thinking about that because he doesn't oversleep.
Okay.
He's a early riser from his NFL playing days. I didn't technically oversleep. I was just an imbecile, which is a popular theme today. During the season for Green Bay game day, as you recall, the Packers played very few noon games this past season. And they had a noon game, I believe it was the Carolina game. And for whatever reason, I am always on, so I have an hour, or if it's a primetime game that starts at 7:15 or 7:20, an hour and change before kickoff. But for some reason, I thought I was on for a noon start at 11 o'clock. And so I thought I was going to get there nice and early at about 10:35 for my 11 o'clock appearance for a noon game. And I still had not left the house. And Strofe and Gabe are calling me, doing a wellness check, because the 10 o'clock hour of Green Bay game day has started, and I'm nowhere to be found at the Tundra Trio. So I got there about 10:40, and we cobbled together the show despite my stupidity. But they were concerned. They thought maybe I'd, had some problems. So I appreciate their concern, much like the Royals players had for their catcher. But yeah, that was embarrassing. I felt pretty stupid.
Yeah, I have not overslept in a while. So I don't have anything good to give. As much as I was thinking back to the old days, the best story I have is the walk-ons in 1995. We had to go in earlier than everybody else, so we had to be in, I think, at 5:30. And I don't remember if the power went out. This is obviously pre-cell phone era. But I couldn't find what time it was, so I actually ended up jumping. This is when I lived at the Regent. I jumped the old wall, sprinted over, because at this point I didn't know, because it was still dark out even when we'd go over for winter conditioning. And I ended up getting there and sitting there. The door was locked to get into the McLean Center. But I sat out there for a while, and finally, I don't know how or when I figured out it was 3 in the morning. So I still had 2.5 hours before I had to be there to work out. So I ended up going back to the Regent. Probably didn't sleep a lick after that, but then went back and then came back over to work out. Because you never, ever, especially as a first-year walk-on, you didn't want to be even a millisecond late because you were afraid you're going to get thrown off the team and or run Lord knows what kind of stadiums and or Stairmaster, whatever. So that was that's probably my best story on not being late.
My favorite story of a player not being able to be located was, I believe this was after your time had ended, but there was a big snowstorm here in Green Bay, and obviously some players are not from are not from cold climates, like Tausch, who grew up in Wisconsin, and so Mike McCarthy was going to have various support staff go pick up players, so they didn't have to drive in the unfamiliar conditions, and they called a certain talented but sometimes knuckleheaded tight end and said, "Hey, we don't want you driving. We're going to come pick you up. We'll be at your house in about 15 minutes." And he informed them that he was not at his house. He was in a dormitory room at UW Green Bay. So they had to pick him up there. And that's the end of that story.
Spilling some tea, huh? Oh.
It's a great story.
I think it takes it's a great story if you're.
Whoa, Nelly!
I'm out on that. I'm out on that story.
Now let's not clip that.
Speaking of college, Final Four this weekend. Michigan, Arizona, your nightcap on Saturday night. UConn, Illinois, the appetizer at 5:09. It's in Indianapolis. Would be appropriate if it was two Big Ten teams playing in the championship there, huh?
Jesse, this is eerily similar. And I'm not going to take credit for this. I don't know if it was Jay Williams or someone on Get Up this morning. I think all of us look at this and say, well, Arizona and Michigan are the two best teams in the Final Four. I think we agree on that. Just like back in one of the last times, I don't know if this was the last time, it was in Indy, when it was Wisconsin-Kentucky with the entree, and Duke was playing Michigan State in the appetizer round. Everybody's just going to assume whoever wins that game is going to win the Natty. Well, I am convinced the refereeing obviously was a big part of why Wisconsin didn't win. That wasn't it. Mm-hmm. We emptied our tank on our tank. And then all the excitement back at that hotel, and we drank them out of it. And then for the boys to recover, I knew it was a day and a half. Duke had an easy game on that Saturday afternoon. They didn't have all the hoopla and the fanfare after. So they were able to get to sleep and regroup. And the point that I think Jay made was Arizona-Michigan is going to be a drag-out, knock-em-out, sock-em, rock-em type of game. So we're all going to sit here and say, oh, Arizona beat Michigan or Michigan beat Arizona. They're going to be leery of that. I just thought that was such a good point, and it was so reminiscent of, I think, a point that we all undertook, that the boys maybe got a little wore down, and I don't remember how deep a rotation Bo played, but we definitely got outplayed the last 8 or 9 minutes of that game, and that also probably was a part of why we didn't win that national championship.
So you, via Jay Williams, are kind of suggesting get down to the Hard Rock before the games tip off tomorrow and put a little wager in on whoever you think's going to win UConn, Illinois. Potentially...
I think Illinois is going to beat UConn, and I think Illinois is going to, yeah.
That's interesting. How much of the Final Four will you watch on Saturday? Or if you even want to bring it into the women's tournament with all the 1 seeds, because you said UConn, South Carolina is the big one tonight.
Yeah, I'll watch some UConn, South Carolina. That is tonight. I'll definitely watch some of that. I doubt I'll watch a ton of which is the late game. My guess is we'll get back to probably watch the second half of that Arizona-Michigan game. Would be my guess.
I'm going to have those games on tonight when I'm working, and I'm going to have those games on Saturday as well. Tausch said this earlier in the week, though, and I agree with him. I'm just not as jazzed as I normally am for the Final Four. I don't have the same zeal.
I think it's a pretty good one this year. I'm excited for it. 2 Big Ten teams, a couple of good matchups, good players.
Whoa, I don't like the fact that they're teams that the Badgers beat.
Makes you feel better about the Badgers a little bit.
No.
If Wisconsin's the only team that went on the road and beat Michigan this year, and Michigan wins the national championship, and Wisconsin almost had them in the Big Ten tournament, that doesn't make you feel better about Wisconsin's performance?
Sounds like another special moment that you can celebrate down the road.
Whoa, Nelly!
By the way,
memorable.
The women's national championship game on Sunday, this is, I think, the 3rd or 4th year in a row they're doing this now. It's at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon on ABC.
Smart. Very smart.
You think that's smart? Because a lot of the feedback has been, why would they not put this game on Sunday night in prime time? Because America's Funniest Home Videos is on ABC. Why can't we bump that and put the women's basketball national championship game, especially on a holiday when, you got people who are going to be gathering with families and doing Easter egg hunts and may not have eyes on the game on Sunday afternoon?
Well, you don't do an Easter egg hunt after. You have to do the Easter egg hunt before noon on Sunday. You can't do an Easter egg hunt after Easter. That doesn't work. You can't. So I think the women made a really smart move. What do you?
You can't. What do you mean? You can't.
You could do a 2 o'clock Easter egg hunt after church.
Not on Sunday.
We're hosting Easter for our entire large extended family. They're coming up to our place. We can't. They're getting to our house at 1 o'clock. We can't do an Easter egg hunt then out in the backyard and around the house.
On Sunday they're coming, or on Saturday?
Yeah, on Sunday.
No.
Who are you, the Easter Bunny? You don't get to make these rules.
I just did. You don't have to listen to it, but I made it. I'm not gonna come down with an iron fist on it, but the Easter egg hunt needs to be before Easter.
What does that mean, before Easter?
Well, the Easter masses are typically done. Easter masses are typically done by noon. You don't have many opportunities to go. 10:30, 11 o'clock is usually the last Easter mass. So then at that point, you're home, you do a nice brunch, you do a dinner, and you send people on your way. You're not throwing eggs at people. You're not doing the Easter egg hunt at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. You're doing it on a Saturday. People usually come in early, You celebrate that, or you do it before you go to church on that Sunday.
Well, but we're not having the family over until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're all driving an hour plus to get to us.
Well, then there's no Easter egg hunt. Then you don't do an Easter egg.
So then you just cancel it all together.
No eggs.
No, there's no hunt. If you don't do it before, you don't do it. Absolutely.
This is the rule your brother has? Because you guys obviously have
it's just the rule it's the
Easter
rule
egg
I
hunt.
want. That doesn't mean, again, if you guys want to go out and hide eggs in your yard at 3, 8 o'clock in the afternoon when UConn is playing Lord knows who, I don't know who's on the other side of that, you go ahead and do it.
Texas.
If you don't. I'm not going to do it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I have a strict rule. No frosh play before Thanksgiving Day, and no Easter egg hunts after noon on Easter.
So shall it be written.
I do declare no Easter egg hunts after 2 p.m.
The terrible proclamation.
Okay, I think we're done here. Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
No
as long
eggs.
as it's not an Easter egg hunt after noon on Easter is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Brewers baseball is back.
Mizorowski, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Blew a fastball by him at 99 for his 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Tune in all season right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Well, it's bracket season, and Pizza Hut's got the watch parties covered. And right now, get a large 3-topping pizza for just $10. Try it on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Crispy and golden outside, soft and fluffy inside, and finished with garlic parm seasoning. Order today at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. A large 3-topping pizza for just $10 on Pizza Hut's new hand-tossed crust. Pizza Hut, feed good times. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Wisconsin men's hockey is Frozen Four-bound for the first time since 2010. Badger captain Ben Dexheimer joining Wilde and Tausch, replaying his game-winning walk-off goal that sent Pucky to Vegas.
I shot it. I saw it trickle in. I think I blacked out a little bit, but I turned towards the boys on the bench, and I don't have too deep of a celebration bag, so I think I just jumped about 3 feet in the air and threw my hands in the air and was just like, we're going to Vegas.
Wisconsin faces North Dakota in the Frozen Four semis Thursday afternoon.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2030 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2030. Visit PellaWI.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
It's well known that the boss at the exteriors company is a perfectionist.
It's a gift.
He not only oversees every job, he inspects each aspect of the operation to get to the root of what your project will actually need to be long-lasting.
Call 960-ROOF.
Oh, he's proud of all the reviews.
What can I say? Take a look.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof.
When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
It is Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. And for that, we go to the inventor of Feel Good Friday. Like LeBron James is the inventor of Taco Tuesday? Is that a thing?
Sure.
The inventor of Feel Good Friday, Mark Tausch.
So it's Autism Awareness Month, and I think, Dan Orlovsky's taken a lot of heat for some of his takes over the last couple of weeks. But this is something I know he did last year. His one of his sons, Madden, was diagnosed with autism, and they came on the set of NFL Live last year, and they did it again this year. And I would recommend you go catch that video of him, just how proud he is. He let him design the entire set. He got to get up on there with Laura Rutledge and everything else, and it was just a really heartwarming moment. For the Orlovskys, and I think anyone that has a child that is dealing with autism, I think it was just a really touching piece, and I know I was moved by it, and I'm sure you would be too if you check it out. It was really cool.
I will. I thought I saw that he tweeted that out. I will check that out after the show. All right, that is Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Next, Rich Eisen, and we get to him somewhat on time.
He can't do an Easter egg hunt, though. He's on at noon, so no Easter egg hunts for him.
After Sunday.
You can do them on Saturday, and you're totally in the clear.
Yeah. You can do them at midnight if you want. Glow in the dark.
That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin